Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. It is Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here, live from the Wisconsin Sports Network radio studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at the 19th Annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Lots going on out here, obviously. We had a huge donation earlier today from Steel Wind Industries that I like to call the guardian angels of the toy drive. A huge donation. It's always our single largest donation every year. And they are a company located here in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where we are, right around the corner. You can walk there from Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, where we are all week long. So always appreciate those guys making that donation. It means the world. They're one of the sponsors of the toy drive for the last several years. And it's just funny, like, a parade of shopping carts go by with toys in them, and everybody like is clapping as they're going by. One lady's like, "That's the best parade I think I've seen all year." It was awesome. So thanks so much to them. Still trying to fill the semi. We're getting there. We're getting there little by little. We're not halfway yet necessarily. Like today, we're halfway through the toy drive, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So hopefully we get a end of week rush. And like I said before, if you're a company and you want to stop down and go shopping for some toys and donate on behalf of your company, that would be amazing. If you want to stop down and drop off a check or something like that, that would be amazing as well. If you want to go online, wisportsradio.com, you can do it that way as well. Yesterday, y'all were awesome. I asked, could we raise $500 in 3 hours? We did just that, $500 coming in. We got that number at about 4:50 yesterday afternoon. So that's cool, too. Again, online, wisportsradio.com, or text the word toys to 34984. Toys to 34894. And again, the toy drive. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this Giannis stuff. The toy drive brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, Metro by T-Mobile, as we broadcast from the Bear Sunrooms. And thanks so much for them. They donate this every year for us. These Bear Sunrooms are unbelievable. Southeastern Wisconsin's #1 builder of sunrooms. Over 1,700 sunrooms constructed by Bear Sunrooms. Check them out online at bearsunrooms.com. I don't want to talk about Giannis. We had Giannis scheduled for the second segment. Charlie's getting a kick out of it as a Bulls fan, just laughing. Thinks it's funny. I'm not laughing, and it's not.
You're
funny.
the funnier part.
I've got Rami McGlocklin on the air on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. They asked him, what was it, yesterday? I think it was. Hey, what team would you want to see Giannis go to? Rami goes, the Bulls.
That would be pretty cool. You know,
I would have just kicked him out of the studio to go home. We're gonna be in. Brandon and John will finish the show without you. You don't need to be here anymore. But right before we came on the air, Sham Charania. Just in, Giannis and his agent, Alex Saratis, or whatever his name is, have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Sources tell ESPN a resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Now, I sent some audio from Brian Windhorst to join ESPN Cleveland earlier today before the Charania news about Giannis. This is what Brian Windhorst had to say on ESPN Cleveland.
The Bucks called the Knicks and asked for an offer for Giannis, okay?
And?
Because Giannis said, I want to be a Knick. So people were like, oh, my God, he deleted a photo from May where he had a Bucks logo.
Yeah.
Guys, he asked to be traded already.
Yeah. So when's he going to happen?
Well, that's the thing. So what appears is that Giannis committed himself for the season to the Bucks. That's what appeared happened. Everything he said in his mood. But the Bucks are not good. This year, when he hasn't played, they're 1-5. And when he has played, they're 9-8. So they've been 500 when he's played, and when he hasn't played, they've been getting raced. What you're asking me is his viewpoint, would his viewpoint change? I don't know. Like I know that he asked for a trade, and then he said, okay, I'm going to be a Buck this year. I know that a lot of people in the league don't think he'll be a Buck next year.
All right, so this is Brian Windhorst on ESPN Cleveland. And again, if you're just tuning in, this report from Shams Charania of ESPN at 1:55, saying that Giannis and his agent have started conversations with the Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere, sources tell ESPN. And I've said before, and I will continue to say, his agents don't want him here. His agents want him in New York or a bigger market. I'm pretty sure those are the guys. I don't have proof 100%, but it only makes sense that these have been the guys feeding Shams Charania this entire time, trying to get him out of here. So if it's going to be him listening to his agent and doing what his agent wants, I'm guessing we're about done here. And that's going to be about it for Giannis. Charlie smiles every time I say that's going to be it for Giannis. Every time. This is the one time I wish he wasn't on video with me so I wouldn't see his smirk.
What do you mean?
Every time I say he's going to be
I'm just
gone.
a smiley guy, Sparky. I'm happy.
Every time.
I'm just happy all the time. It's not because of this situation specifically. Maybe I'm looking forward to Bears-Packers this weekend, okay?
Nope. Got a text from Ian in Hartford. He said he should get booed tonight, but I don't think he'll even be there. This is the thing. The question that we were going to do on the show, and I think we can still do on the show right now about Giannis is, has your opinion of Giannis changed since they won the championship? Has your opinion of Giannis changed since this Bucks team won the championship? Nicolay Law Talk at text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. On the socials, live streaming on X and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Also still to come today, Matt Arnold, Brewers president of baseball ops and GM, will join us in person here at the Toy Drive coming up at 3:30. John McNamara, Badger 24/7 on Badgers early signing day, comes up at 4:20. John McGlocklin, Bucks legend, who always joins us for the Toy Drive, he'll join us coming up at 4:40 today, and we'll get his thoughts on everything going on with the Bucks too. Has your opinion changed of Giannis? Yeah. Because for so long when he got here, got his first slushie, rode in a limo to Walmart, learned how to drive in the parking lot at the Cousins Center, all that. And for so long, Giannis is different than everybody else. Giannis isn't the same as all these other athletes that played in, the U.S. and grew up in AAU basketball and traveling all around and playing and getting these gigantic sized egos before they even get to college because everybody tells them how great they are. Then they get to college and maybe they're there for a year and then they're out and into the NBA and they grow up in that spotlight and get that attitude. Become me guys, right? That's what everybody thinks of NBA players or NFL wide receivers or whatever. Giannis ain't that guy. Cool. Giannis is loyal. Giannis ain't never going to leave us. He ain't that guy. Folks, the last couple of years, and Charlie knows, I've been just seething mad over this whole Giannis thing every summer.
Yeah.
Every summer, it's look at me. Do I want to stay or do I want to go? And I've said it time and time again. If I was John Horst, I'd be done. I'd be all done. And I don't know what the relationship is, but clearly he don't trust him. He don't trust John Horst, or he simply just doesn't want to be here and doesn't have the guts to actually just ask out and get out. Like, this is completely different in my mind. If when the season ended last year, he knew Lillard wasn't back this year, if he would have went and said, hey, man, I'm done. Like, I don't want to go through this, whatever. This is my time to get out. You guys can still have Lillard, have a horrible season, whatever you want to do, get a top draft pick. You have a flop with the Pelicans, but both of them would probably be top 5 picks. Imagine if they had no Giannis and no Lillard, no Miles Turner, and what they have here. They'd be horrible, right? I mean, I don't care what they get back in this trade. They're going to be horrible. So that would be one thing. But instead, you drag it out. You force him into doing this crazy Miles Turner deal that everybody regrets probably already. And now it's Giannis is exiting stage left and now wants to be out in Milwaukee. Has your opinion changed? Yeah, my opinion's changed. He's as much of a me guy as anybody else is going to be in this league. That's what it is. Am I mad that he wants to leave and go play somewhere else? I'm not mad about that. I'm mad that we're getting strung along like Brett Favre used to string us along all the time when he was going to be retire or not retire, retire or not retire. That went on for 5 years. We've been playing this whole rigmarole of whether or not he wants to stay in Milwaukee for every summer since they won the NBA championship. Every summer. And then a lot of you get all mad at everybody reporting this stuff, acting like they're making stories up. Oh, that's not true. He's just making crap up. Now, man, come on, man. You can't have a job just making stuff up like that. So I guarantee you, this isn't breaking news to anybody in that Bucs organization if this is all going down the way Sharania says it is. And I'm guaranteeing you it is, because like I said before, I'm pretty sure his agents have been the source on Sharania this whole time, was my guess. I will never, ever boo Giannis wearing another jersey. It's not going to happen. I will never, ever, ever root for Giannis while in another jersey. I will root against Giannis every single time he's in another jersey going forward. But with all due respect, I would do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers, for Brett Favre, or for anybody else. Once you're done with my team, I'm done with you. Time to move on. And then when you retire and you come back and whatever happens, cool. Then you're done. You're not playing for the enemy anymore. But you play for the enemy. Hey, man, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to wish you the best, because I'm not. Right? I hope you go and lose wherever you go. And it's a horrible time, especially if you're going to force your way out of this before your contract's even up. It's a completely different thing if you leave into free agency and don't demand a trade and play through your contract, do your thing. You're not a distraction. You're not sidetracking everybody where everybody's got to talk about Giannis 24/7, bend over backwards for Giannis 24/7, employ his entire damn family to play on the basketball team in order to keep him to hear a play. Again, I mean, it's silly, all the crazy stuff they've had to do to keep him happy at this point. So again, the whole idea of he's not like everyone else. Yes, he is. LeBron, Giannis. What's the difference? I mean, LeBron's got, I guess, the shoe line, but Giannis has got his shoe line now too, right? I mean, Giannis, at least he ain't doing a TV show on us. I guess we got that going for us. If they're all show me guys, man. Look at me. Talk about me all summer. Keep me in the spotlight. It's all about Giannis. Yay, hey, 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 hey. And then I'll poke fun and make fun of all the national reports, even though it appears they're all true. But to keep everybody on my side here in Milwaukee, I'll just poo-poo everybody. Who's missing Woj? Remember that dumb tweet that he had? Yeah. Everybody got all fired up. Oh, Giannis just fired his shots now. Now how do y'all feel? Huh? Now how? Because it appears everybody got the wool pulled over their eyes, and the couple of people that were trying to tell you you were having the wool pulled over your eyes, you didn't want to hear them get all mad about. I don't know if Giannis is done with Milwaukee or if it's his girl that wants out. Listen, man, I mean, we're going to be straight about this. When you get married, you have kids and all that. The saying is this: if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody going to be happy in that house. It ain't going to happen. It doesn't matter. When I was growing up in my house, my mom wasn't happy. We all paid the price for it until we got her in a good spot. My mom, there's a long story about my mom, but my mom, because of her upbringing and so forth, didn't like holidays. Because back when she was growing up, they always meant people coming over and drinking and fights and whatever, and she just never liked it. So in order to make her good at Christmas and make her in an okay mood, we always would go somewhere for Thanksgiving to get out of Wisconsin, at least, to get her in a little bit better mood for Christmas. All geared towards making sure my mama was happy, which was fine with all of us because it meant good stuff for us too. If his wife says, hey, man, this is cool and all, but I'd rather be in New York. I'd rather be in LA. I'd rather be in Miami, whatever. I guarantee you he's going to be like, okay, babe, let's go. I mean, the one thing, again, don't know, it appears he's wildly in love with her. It appears he wants to be a great father for his kids and all of that and wants to make sure they have everything they want at this point. So maybe she is saying, I'm done with Milwaukee. I'd like to go somewhere else. He ain't never going to throw her under the bus publicly, I promise you. But maybe that dynamic has changed to where now he, who didn't ever want to leave, apparently, now all of a sudden is like, okay, we're done. Time to go. Time to go. Or he's a quitter. Now, the quitter aspect is a fascinating one because, Charlie, you have the audio of Giannis a couple of years ago on a question from Eric Name after the Bucks choked it away and didn't win an NBA championship and didn't get to the NBA Finals again and getting bounced. And Giannis was irritated by the Eric name question and had this answer, which I absolutely hated at the time. I still hate, but I can use it against him now, so now I want to play it. This is Giannis. Go ahead.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, and if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. I'm answering your question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball. And hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures. No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one.
And you quit, we think. It appears, according to Shams Charania, you and your agent are trying to figure out. This is the funny thing. Things are getting rough. You and I talked about this yesterday, about what kind of person is he going to be? Is he going to cry, take his ball, and go home and say, to hell with this, I'm done? Or is he going to be a leader, say, I got you, get on my back, we're going to fire a way out of this. I've been on worse teams in Milwaukee. I've been on 15-win teams or whatever else. We will figure this out, and we're going to go, and we're going to get to the playoffs, and we're going to get this thing done. There was 2 ways he could go. It appears that Giannis has decided to take his ball and want to go somewhere else. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't want them to trade Giannis. I want Giannis to be here forever for one main reason. They will never in my lifetime ever have another superstar like Giannis. Now, you can be like, how do you know that, Sparky? I don't. But the odds are probably greater than winning the damn Powerball or Mega Millions at this point that they don't get that they get a guy like Giannis who wins MVPs and Defensive Player of the Year. So once he's gone, it's going to be a long time before they're probably at that level ever again to compete for a championship. As he pointed out, it was 50 years, man. They had all-stars in this organization for many of those years and still couldn't figure it out through all of this. So nobody should want them to move him. But if I'm John Horst and if I'm Peter Fagan, who, by the way, normally joins us every year for the toy drive, I don't think he's going to be joining us this year with all this going on. But I'd sit back, I'd look at the agent, I look at Giannis, and go, we're done. I stretched and waved Damian Lillard. I got Miles Turner. I did all I could do to make this thing work. You agreed that this was the way we were good. Everything was fine prior to the season. You signed off and we're on. You have been hurt for several games. No, we didn't win any games. But you knew that it was all being built around you because you had to win now. You couldn't lose for a season or two and rebuild this thing the correct way. You didn't want to have that conversation. You have to win now. Okay, cool. You built this mess. So that's where we're at. I got nothing else to say to you. I'm not going to beg you to stay. I'm not going to do anything, Giannis. You built this mess. You can sit in this mess. I'm not trading you. Get out of my office, you and your agent. You don't want to play? Sit at home and watch. Fine with me. I'm not trading you. You're under contract till whatever the year is. You're playing. I'm not moving you. That's how we're going to play this thing. You can go on ESPN and tell Shams your buddy, we ain't trading you. That's it. I never would have called the Knicks for him. According to Brian Windhorst, no chance. You want to be a Knick? Cool. When your contract's up, you go be a Knick. But I'm not moving you. Too bad, so sad. We're going to go with what we have. That's how I'd play it. And they would be in shock. Oh, no NBA team does this. NBA stars get to go wherever the hell they want to go whenever they ask. Every NBA team trades their star if they don't want to be there. Not this one. No, not this one. Tommy Wirtz was on before us. with Mitch Thunder Nellis on the Mason Crosby show, and he said, hey, man, just let him go in free agency. Let him go wherever he wants to go. And Thunder was like, but Tommy, if you let Giannis walk in free agency, you're going to get nothing in return. And Tommy's like, you're not going to get fair value anyhow. And Thunder goes, well, I mean, something's better than nothing. That's true. See, this is why I can't be a GM or an owner. Because if you allow emotions to play into it, you get what you just heard from me. And I would get hot, I get irritated, and that's it. You want to play your game? I'll play a game too. I have all the control, you have none. So you want to go this way? No problem. But there is absolutely zero chance that I am kissing his rear end, bowing to the ring, or anything else in that meeting. If I'm Horst and I'm Fagan, I am furious. I am mad. I am yelling. I am screaming before they even say the word. That door shuts, and I am going off on both of those cats before they say a word in that meeting.
I get where you're coming from. I do, Sparky. But at the same time, you mentioned before that the Bucks may never have another player like Giannis in the history of your lifetime moving forward here. They've had 3 total players of this caliber ever in their lifetime, and Oscar and Kareem were on the same team. So they had those jumbled together there, and then it was Giannis. And after that, you may not ever have that again, which is the reason.
Both resulted in championships, by the way. Those were the only 2 championships they got.
Which is the reason you can't go about this like the Clippers are going about Chris Paul right now. Clippers are an organization that constantly gets butthurt by people all around them, and they constantly make bad choices off getting butthurt like that. And Chris Paul, may not be a Giannis caliber player, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's probably the greatest player in Clippers history. I mean,
Charlie, I'm not releasing him,
but
I'm saying you're under contract and play. I'm not saying
giving yourself
they cut him.
You're just giving yourself bad press is all it is. And for a franchise that can't afford bad press in a situation like this,
why?
Because it destroys franchises.
What's going to happen? A free agent's not going to come here. They're not coming here regardless, Charlie. It doesn't affect us at all in any way, shape, or form. If you don't want to play, I'll tell you what. If Giannis sits out and doesn't play for the next couple of years, tell me who the bad press is going to be on. It ain't going to be on the Bucks. He's under contract and refusing to play. Every team in the NBA is going to be like, I don't want to deal with that crap. To hell with that. I'm telling you, no chance. I'm not trading him. I'm going to sit right here, and you can sit there and either decide to play or not play. Totally up to you.
That's easy for somebody to say whose job isn't on the line in the situation, whose money isn't on the line in
Charlie,
the situation.
They're all getting fired as soon as they trade them. All of them.
So why
John
burn
Horst
bridges?
is going to get fired.
So why burn bridges? If you know that's going to happen, why burn bridges?
You're not understanding this. You're trying to please Giannis, and you think it's going to make John Horst look good.
I'm trying to get myself a job in the future, potentially. I'm trying to save myself some good credit.
Charlie, he has a championship ring. Do you know how many GMs in this league have a championship ring where they built a team?
And guys get given up on like so easy. And if you blow it with one of the greatest players of all time, a kind of relationship you have, that gets around.
Will not
notice that. It will matter.
I promise you that man is going to get a job wherever he wants to get a job because the man built a championship team. End of story. Case closed. It's no doubt he's going to get another job as GM, regardless of how this plays out. It doesn't even matter how this plays out. And in fact, if John's worried about, oh no, I can't have the bad press. Cool. Then let Jimmy Haslam be the bad guy. Let Edens be the bad guy. Let them publicly come out and go, we're the owners. We're not trading.
So if John Horst has earned the right to act like that to Giannis in your mind, how has Giannis not earned the right to act like this?
Like what?
Like a superstar, like one of the greatest players of all time. What do you mean?
You mean to tell me he should waiver every single offseason of the last 5 years? Yes. Right. And you, like him, are me guys. And I, like the Bucks ownership and GM, will not handle that and deal with it and then have you turn around and go, you're not doing enough. I want to be traded. I don't want to lose, and I don't want to help this team anymore. It's about me. That's all it's about. I need to go. Cool. But you're under contract. You signed it, not me. You're saying. That's the end of the case. I don't know how everybody else is going to deal with this, but that's how I would deal with it. Let's go to Trell on the north side of Milwaukee. You're next on the Nick Law Talking Text Line. What's up, Trell?
Hey, Sparky, I love you, my brother. But what you're saying, Sparky, is pretty much the same thing you're accusing Giannis of. You're saying
that's correct. That's correct.
You're saying that you
yes. That's right, Trell. That's right. You want to be a me guy, Giannis? I can be a me guy too, as being Peter Fagan or Wesley Edens. I can go play in the mud too, Trell. I'm not above playing in the mud, Trell. I'll play all day.
Hey, Sparky, listen. It's the nature of the business, Sparky. I told you, I've been saying this for probably the last couple of years. This point was coming. And the thing I would say, sure, we can go through and we can start blaming Giannis by some of his comments and press conferences. We can start blaming Giannis by him being injured when the team needs him. Sure, we can do that.
Every postseason.
Every superstar, I'm sure there's times you can do that in a franchise. This is my point. The Bucks have failed this a long time ago. And the reason why is because they didn't have the cojones to be proactive when they needed to. They were supposed to be proactive building this team through the process. Once you won that championship, if you didn't feel like this team could get it done, definitely have a chance to be in it, you should have been building the roster for the future already before get ahead of Giannis. Get ahead of us. They didn't do that. All their moves were like frantic, desperate, last minute, out of the genie bottle type moves. And now they're in a situation where they're pretty much can't pull enough together to keep Giannis here. Listen, I'm not going to root against Giannis. Now, I don't care how bad my Milwaukee Bucks are. Whatever team he goes to, if he come back and play the Bucks, I'm going to root for the Bucks because I'm a Buck regardless. But any other team in the league, I'm riding with Giannis. Any other team in the league, I'm going to ride with him. I don't have any bad feelings towards him and how he's going about this. I understand what's going on. There's a lot of things in play. And I see which angle you're going, Sparky. You're saying that you're not going to boo him, but you're pretty much booing him by saying, bringing up old press conference, things what he said and starting to try to take that angle against him. So
that's right.
I just can't do that.
I went to County Stadium when Paul Molitor came back with the Blue Jays. I booed that man every time he stepped up to the plate. Now, did I know all the facts? No. Did anybody in the stadium know all the facts? No. Then 20 years later, I find out that Bud lowballed him and screwed him on a contract offer, and there was no way he could come back for what he offered him, and that's why he left. But he wanted to stay the whole time, and they didn't even give him a fair offer. So had I known that then, because I was a kid, had I known that then, I never would have booed that man. No chance whatsoever. I would have booed Bud every time I saw Bud. But that's not what it was at that point. I'm not a guy that goes to a stadium necessarily and boos guys, right? I mean, Draymond Green, absolutely, right? I'll boo Draymond Green all day, right? Kevin Garnett, I couldn't stand Garnett as a player. Hated Kevin Garnett as a player. Yeah, I'll boo him too. But as far as like booing guys that leave here and come back, I mean, other than that traitor running the Cubs organization, I don't know anybody else where I've like actively wanted to boo. Well, Favre too. So I guess there's a couple, but I mean, Giannis, I'm not going to boo Giannis. Like, I don't hate Giannis. I just think he became a two-faced fraud before this whole thing was said and done. That's all I think. That's all I think, Trell.
Sparky, you hurt me when you say that. I don't think that.
Well, it hurts me too, Trell. It hurts me too.
Oh my God. Hey, have a great day. Have a great day. I got.
See you, Trell. See you later. Hey, man. I know how you are going to be mad at me and so forth, but I'm mad. I am mad. And this is Toy Drive week. I'm supposed to be happy. This is my favorite week of the year. And I'm out here doing Toy Drive at Blaine's Farm and Fleet for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. 19th year we're doing this. My favorite week of the year. And do you know what's happening while I'm out here asking people to donate toys and everything else? My phone's blowing up with all this Giannis crap, one after another. Then before I sit down to have my show, I'm eating my Wendy's chicken tendies. I'm having a large Dr. Pepper. I'm having some Wendy's fries. And I get a text message from my buddy Ian that shows me the Sharania tweet that says him and his agent are going to meet with the Bucks and decide whether or not they want to be here or not. Man, get out of here. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm real mad. When you're mad, you say things maybe you don't mean all the time. But this dude here, this ain't the same cat that was here when this whole thing started. And as I've said before, you change. You make a lot of money. Not everybody stays the same. And I can't sit here and tell you what I'd be like at $50 million a year. No clue. I'd probably be an arrogant, pompous jerk to everybody. More than likely. But I mean, I wouldn't know until it actually happens. So I'm not mad at him for changing. I'm not mad at him for being like every other NBA superstar in the league and finally getting to that point of being all about himself. I'm not mad about that either. I'm just mad that you've been dragging this on for multiple summers when in your mind, apparently, Sharania has been right about this the whole time. Windhorse has been right about this the whole time, it appears. You've been stringing this thing along for a couple of years now when you could have been out of here, not had all this drama going along with it, and being me guy, everybody talk about me, and then making this fan base look like a bunch of complete blithering idiots on social media defending your butt, saying, oh, no, he'll never leave, everybody's wrong, he'll never leave. Okay. That's how long did I talk? 30 minutes.
You need a cool down. Yeah, I think
30
you need
minutes.
A cool down.
30 minutes, man. Haven't taken a commercial break. We've been going for a half hour. I took one call. I don't know what the talking text line looks like. I don't know what any of this is. But I'm mad. Mad. Probably hurt too. Probably both of them.
I can tell.
There's probably a little bit of something on both of them.
Just need a cool down. Let's take a quick break, Sparky.
Thank God Matt Arnold is out here at 3:30 because he'll put a smile on my face and we'll have a lot of fun. And Matt Arnold, president of baseball operations and general manager, will be out here from 3:30 to 4. Looking forward to that. John McGlocklin, that's at 4:40. He always puts a smile on my face. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. I want to talk about Jabbar with McGlocklin. Because remember, Jabbar demanded out of here too, and they had to make that trade to the Lakers. Now, there was some other stuff going on inside the city of Milwaukee, I think, that led to that, why Jabbar wanted to leave. But either way, so I want to get his thoughts on that. How did the team react? How did everybody react in Milwaukee when that deal went down versus if and when this deal goes down? We want a break?
I think we should. I think legally we kind of have to at some point here.
Because we're on the network,
yes.
So we have to get all these commercials played?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Take a quick time out. It is, what's the name of the show? Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here, 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson Nest. Put a smile on my face. Come down here, donate some toys. Please, donate some toys. Welcome in. We are out here at Blades Farm and Fleet, 19th Annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest Foster Care arm of Children's Wisconsin. Again, thanks to Steelwind Industries for a sizable donation earlier today. They always are our single largest toy donor every year, and they made their big donation today, which was amazing. Still about halfway through that semi that we're trying to get filled by Friday at 6 o'clock. Out here each day, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., collecting toys for good causes, obviously, out here. If you can't make it out here because you're listening at WNFL in Green Bay or, excuse me, the game in Wausau or the game in Duluth and Superior or anywhere else around southeastern Wisconsin, you're like, Oak Creek's too far, man. I can't get to Oak Creek to donate a toy. I got you. No problem. All I got to do is go online. WISportsradio.com is one way to donate, or simply text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. 34984. Still to come, Matt Arnold, Brewers President of Baseball Operations and GM, will join us out here at the Toy Drive coming up at 3:30 today. We'll get into some Badgers recruiting talk with John McNamara as well. He comes up at 4:20. John McGlocklin, Bucks legend, will join us at 4:40. Let's go to Corey in Phoenix. You're on next on the Nicolay Law Talking Text line. What's going on, Corey?
Mr. Sparky, how you doing today, man? I hear the venom in your voice, brother.
I'm mad. And this is my happiest week of the year. This is the week where I love it the most. I look forward all year to doing this toy drive, collecting toys, putting smiles on kids' faces, who are battling all kinds of different things in their life, whether it be, being in foster care and not being with the real parents and trying to figure that out, whether it be in a hospital battling cancer or battling anything else that they may be battling. And those toys make all the difference in the world. That's why it's so important to me. So this is the week normally where I'm the happiest. And today it's not been the case thanks to this whole story.
Yeah, but you know what, though? One word to that team, to our team that we are showing all this passion for. They have to hold each other accountable. I mean, when there's a blown coverage in the defense, nobody says anything to each other. And I don't like that. I mean, that other day when they played Washington, they ran that play where somebody would dribble in the paint, that guy would sneak behind the defense and get a dunk. And Marcus Johnson called it out. He said they've been doing that all game, and nobody held anybody accountable. And Mr. Miles Turner, we love you, man, but when you going to start swatting them weak side layups away, bro? Come on now, we need you. I mean, I'm assuming that's why they brought that gentleman here. And yes, he should have traded into more. But weak side deep to be playing. They stand, man. I don't like that. You be on the bench. I'm a little out of basketball team goes on. You didn't play defense. You sat on the bench. So.
Corey, you're breaking up, dude. I gotta let you go. I was trying to be patient, let that cell phone work itself out in Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, he is streaming us at wisportsradio.com, or you can watch us on X or YouTube at WI Sports Radio as well. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. So the whole idea of, okay, you don't play defense, you're gonna be on the bench. Nobody will ever play in this team. Second of all, Miles Turner. No, man, he's not lived up to expectations. He's not. He's everything the Pacers fans said he was. Inconsistent, don't play hard all the time, doesn't rebound the basketball at a high enough level to pay him what you all paid him. Bucks fans were getting all mad at the Pacers fans, and I understand it. Like, I was surprised. I was shocked. I was all like, all right, Miles Turner, that's hopefully a younger version of Brook Lopez, because remember, Brook Lopez, he didn't rebound the basketball either. Brook Lopez shot threes. He wasn't the most mobile guy, but he get down the court a little bit, and that's what I thought they were getting in Miles Turner. And maybe if and when Miles Turner plays at a consistent level, maybe that's exactly what we can get here at some point. But as a caller pointed out the other day, hey, man, when Brook Lopez would not get a rebound, he'd box somebody out and the ball would be available for somebody else to get the rebound. Miles Turner don't even do that. I mean, he don't put a button in anybody. So from that perspective, he's not giving you that either. So he's not rebounding. He's not helping other guys get rebounds. He's not blocking shots at a high enough rate to be a presence in the middle necessarily either. 3-point shooting, there ain't nothing great about that. Shooting air balls, barely hitting rim, that's been ugly. And that's where you invested all your money. So we go back to the Sham Charania meeting that he says is going on with Giannis and his agent meeting with the Bucks, trying to figure out if Giannis wants to be traded or not to another team here in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure that's part of it. Giannis is like, hey, your big move was Miles Turner. Cat ain't doing nothing. I'm out here by myself trying to do everything. I can't do everything by myself. And I'm sure maybe that's getting brought up. Now, again, if I was in the meeting, they wouldn't have a time to say a word. I'd yell, scream, and tell them to get the hell out of my office. And there would be no meeting. Out you go. See ya. Call me when I'm calmed down, like next year maybe at some point. That's how I'd operate this, Charlie.
Well, and part of Miles Turner coming to this team and hoping that he could be that more athletic Brook Lopez was coming from he was playing alongside Giannis, and Giannis was going to help elevate him to do that. And I know there's been 6 games this season where he hasn't played alongside Giannis, but it kind of looks like he plays better almost in those games when he's not playing alongside Giannis. So far, it feels like he's like taking this back seat, which, yeah, he should technically because he is not as good of a player to Giannis, but he still needs to do the things you signed him to do. And he's just not going out there doing it. And to Corey's point, yeah, you can't move him to the bench, but somebody should hold him accountable. Somebody should be on him more than it feels like they are right now. It doesn't feel like there's any noise coming from the locker room outside of Giannis.
Correct. And that is a big, big, big part of all of this. No question. Got some tweets coming in as well. Let's see here. A tweet. Neil in Milwaukee says, Sparky playing Giannis clip would backfire on you. There are steps to achieve success, and the Bucks are taking steps backwards, not forward. Neil in Milwaukee. You can tweet me back or you can call in. I prefer a call because you and I going this way, me saying something, you tweeting, me saying something, you tweeting. It's not as fun as you and I having a conversation on the radio. So I'd encourage you to call, or anybody else for that matter. Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. You're saying the Bucks are taking steps backwards and not forward. Tell me something. Neil in Milwaukee. What would you have done had you been John Horst? And the guy, look at me, Giannis, is telling you, hey, dog, I don't know if I want to be here. I don't think you can put a championship team around me. I don't think you can get it done. Damian Lillard is out. I think I want to leave. What do? You tell Giannis, you know what? We're going to trade you. I got nothing, man. Lillard's hurt. You're right. We're stuck. We got no draft picks. It's over. Is that what you would have done, Neil? And just let him walk out the door and traded him in the summertime and been done with this? Or, Neil, would you have been smart enough to figure out a way to get Miles Turner to stretch and waive Damian Lillard and still figure out a way to steal from your arch rival, the Indiana Pacers, their big man, leaving them with nobody to play that big man role for Indiana, and get them in Milwaukee? Because as far as I know, most of the GMs in this league never, ever, ever, ever would have pulled off what he pulled off to try to keep his superstar happy, who clearly has been half in and half out on this team for the last couple of years. And he's been having to do everything he can to jump through hoops to keep this guy happy. So he's not the GM that has to trade him and look like an idiot for the rest of history because he traded Giannis away from the Milwaukee Bucks, even though he's done everything in his power to try and keep him here.
Right. Nico Harrison got just ridiculed when he traded away Luka Doncic after trying not to do everything. So going through all this and then still losing and still looking like you gave all your options and then still being the guy that loses on the other end. I mean, yeah, I get how that would suck to be that guy on that side of things.
Here's Charlie Houston over there. Steve Sparky, Pfeiffer here. We'll take a quick timeout, come back. Still to come, Matt Arnold, GM of the Milwaukee Brewers and president of baseball operations. He got a promotion. Word has it, part of the reason Mark elevated him the way he did was he saw that he won the WBA award with me last year, the Toy Drive interview. He said, "Oh, damn, you're a media star too, Matt. We gotta pay you more money so you don't leave to do sports talk radio with Sparky." And I understand, right? Keep all these guys away from working with me. I totally get it. Out here, 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. 19 years we've been out here doing this thing. And again, it's about putting smiles on kids' faces when they're going through tough times. That's what this is all about. We're trying to fill a semi out here in the parking lot. We'd love to have you come out here, donate a toy. Doesn't have to be anything major. We have a cash jar out here as well. You can donate cash. Our guy, Tim in Fredonia, he stopped out here today. You know what this cat did, Charlie?
What's that?
Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, plays tunes, DJs, whatever, right? He said, hey, man, $5 a song that you want to hear. I'll play your song for $5, and it's going to go towards the toy drive on a Wednesday night. He came out here, wrote a $100 check to the toy drive from the money he raised on his own for the toy drive. That's creative, right?
Pretty
That's
cool.
a guy who listens to the station and goes, hey, man, I want to help. What can I do to help? How can I raise some money? And came up with $100. Awesome. Everybody can do something like that. That would be great. Or simply go online, wisportsradio.com, or you can also text the word toys to 34984. Take a quick time out, come back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Sports Daily served up by Wendy's out here at the 19th annual Toy Drive. We'll continue on in the 3 o'clock hour. Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up next.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again out here at the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson S. Plains Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue, looking for some toy donations. If you can make it out here before 6 p.m. today, that would be great. We also have King's Catering food truck, the food responders. They're coming out here today. Have a baked potato bar that's going to be out here. That sounds amazing to me. Like the beef tacos and the chicken tacos yesterday were amazing, but I love baked potatoes. So that's going to be out here from 4 until 6 o'clock as well. Just a very cool deal. And they do 100% of the proceeds right back to the toy drive, which is great. And again, the toy drive is brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries. They made the large toy donation earlier today. By the Yard and Metro by T-Mobile. So we broadcast from the Bear Sunrooms out here again in Oak Creek. All right, Justin in North Carolina wanted to hop on to talk about this Giannis Bucks situation. He's next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's up?
Sparky, you said something a couple of weeks ago about a phone call is so much more valuable than a text message because I think a lot of your stuff can get misconstrued from the text.
Yep.
So that's why I wanted to call in because this is probably one of the most disappointing days as a Bucks fan. And I think you are spot on and absolutely 100% correct. And maybe I'm a lot like you where I'm upset. But I'm not even upset. I'm just disappointed in the guy that I thought that Giannis was. Not only everything that you mentioned as far as stretching Dame, bringing in Miles Turner and all that, but we got to remember one thing. Trell mentioned earlier that after the championship, a lot of those moves weren't made at behest of Giannis, wanting to keep Chris around, wanting to keep Drew around, wanting to keep Brooke around, wanting to keep his guys around. And there's coaches. Dr. Griffin was brought in here because of Giannis. And then he was let go because Giannis didn't like him, and we went with Doc because of him. So you see a lot of flack about Doc Rivers and stuff, but this is the guy Giannis wanted.
Thank you.
I don't know where we go from here, but this is a guy that has given everything to the city, and I agree that downtown wouldn't be downtown without Giannis Antetokounmpo. But however, this city has given everything to him as well, and this organization has done that as well. So to walk into an office when things aren't going well and say, oh, I want to take my ball and go home, that's weak to me. You're the best player on earth, and you should be doing more. You need to get these guys to play. LeBron took Damon Jones and them dudes to the finals in Ogaskis, and you're supposed to be as good as him in his prime. You got to get these guys to play better. And we got way more talent on this team, and not giving them a pass. That effort he had in Washington, you want to be mad? Look in the mirror. You played like trash along with a lot of the other guys. This whole Bucks team, instead of Giannis going and demanding a trade, maybe we need a closed-door meeting and guys need to start carrying their weight. And like Tim Allen used to say, it was baseball card, but playing to the level of their back of their basketball card. Sparky, I'm 100% on board with you. I do not trade them. I make them play out the 2 years, and then you can walk in free agency like Mitch said earlier, and by God, God bless you. But I'm not cheering for him on another team. I'm a Bucks fan. Been here way before him. I'll be here way after him. I'll Bucks fan my first breath, and I'll be a Bucks fan on my last breath. And this is probably one of my saddest days as a Bucks fan. I guess this is my parents and my grandparents felt when Lou Alcindor, now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left the Bucks, man. I'm gone. I'm so upset, bro.
Amen. Amen to that preaching by Justin in North Carolina.
Drop the mic and everything,
I'm sorry, but that's it. And he's 100% right about this Doc Rivers flack that he's catching. Doc Rivers is catching shrapnel from everybody. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you Doc Rivers is some amazingly great coach or anything like that. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I don't care who this coach is. With what they've got to go with, without Giannis, they're screwed without Giannis. I don't care who it is. You could give me Spoelstra. You can give me Popovich. You can give me whoever you want to give me. Phil Jackson in his prime. I don't care. Don't matter. You ain't doing it with these guys. It's just not happening. This whole thing was built around Giannis. That's what it was built around. Plain and simple. And now, again, according to Shams Charania, right before we went on the air at 2 o'clock, him and his agent are having meetings with the Bucs to see if he even wants to be here anymore or if he wants to go somewhere else. Then earlier today, Brian Windhorst and ESPN Cleveland, we played that audio for you in the first hour. Brian Windhorst says Giannis told them before the season started he wanted to be a New York Knick. So the Bucs reached out to the Knicks, we knew about this, to see if they could get that deal done or not. And obviously the Knicks don't have enough to make that deal get done one way or the other. So this again has been going on. He wipes his social media. And that was a whole conversation piece yesterday as well. Again, you can go two ways. You can take your ball, go home, pout, and quit. Or two, pull yourself up by your bootstraps like you've done a majority of the rest of your life and go fight for this damn thing and show everybody that you can lead this thing going into the postseason. You want to know how you win an MVP award? Go put this team in as a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Go be a top 4 seed. Doesn't matter if you win in the playoffs because that's a regular season award. Go make this team a top 4 seed. Go lead this team. Go be a leader. Go work with these guys. Go show them how to get better. Go help them learn how to play better defense. Be the Energizer Bunny for this Bucks basketball team if that's what it's all about. But if it's all about me, see ya. Because that's exactly what it appears this is going to be at some point here in the future. And it sucks because everybody listening has loved that dude forever. Forever. Everybody. He won a championship here. So, I don't care where he goes. I ain't going to be happy. Doesn't matter to me where he goes. Not going to be happy. But I'm not just going to stop, being all in when that dude retires and comes back and they celebrate Giannis at center court for winning an NBA championship. Hell yeah, man. Everybody's going to stand and cheer and all that stuff. But this immediate aftermath for the next few years, no, he's not going to get that. I don't know if he gets booed when he comes back. I won't boo him. Others may. Find out. And that is going to be soul crushing because that man has never been booed like he's going to get booed possibly when he comes back for another team. And then how he handles that, I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. But that could happen. Not saying it will. It could. And if it does, that's going to hurt his feelings and hurt his heart is what I'm telling you, Charlie.
I feel like even with all the drama that's happened over the past 2.5 seasons now since that NBA championship, even despite all of that, I don't think he deserves to get booed when he comes back with whatever team or if he comes back with whatever team. I think he's still done enough and earned the respect of the fans. And yeah, these past couple of years have not gone the way people expected. But before that, even during this, he has still reiterated that the people of Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, have still been a home to him and have brought him to this point, and that this is never about them. It's not a beef with the city of Milwaukee. It's whatever beef he's got going on with the front office right now.
Good. So what did they do to him?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, tell me. I mean, you got this on lock with Giannis. You're defending Giannis. So tell me, what did the front office do to him to say, I want out of here? What did John Horst do wrong? Or what did Peter Fagan do wrong to say, you know what? We're not trying for you, Giannis. We're not trying to win a championship. We gave up on you trying to win here.
Never said
We're
I knew the
never said I knew the beef. Never said I knew Giannis like that. Screw Giannis.
I'm not sure. Giannis has to answer
that.
Giannis has to answer that. Giannis is the person who has to come out here and say whatever the issue is at this moment. But right now, from what we've seen, he hasn't requested fully a trade on his own by his own standards. Reports have come out that they discussed a trade with the New York Knicks. That's all that's come out. And that he said that if he were to be traded, it would be to the New York Knicks. He hasn't requested a trade officially. This report that comes out from Giannis or Shams just right before the show says that he's having conversations about his future. That's not him asking to be traded.
Hold on a second. Let's rewind. Him and his agent had these same conversations with the same front office people in the summertime. And you're telling me
the same conversations that they've had for the past 15 summers, he said.
And how many in-season conversations have they had that's been reported?
Bucks have never looked this bad with Giannis at peak
level. Just answer the question.
That's the reason. So
how many?
They haven't had that because they haven't had
None
this
reported.
Point. They have not been at this point in the season before with Giannis at this level.
Okay, so they've never been under 500 in December.
They've never
going into December.
Sparky, you know the situation right now. You know that they can't play defense, and you're
They're
the one that says they can't. Sparky.
They're not even at Christmas yet. I said this yesterday.
He's right. I'm saying this is the situation.
You've played a month and you're quitting.
He's played a lot more than a month for the Milwaukee Bucks.
No, he hasn't. He's hurt. He missed how many games? No, stop.
Again, past 12 seasons that he's been on this team and played his
He's been hurt
off.
in every postseason outside of like 2.
And won a championship in one of them.
Good for you.
And
You can live on the past.
One more championship more than everybody
Can great. You can live on that all you want.
You can't ignore
I'm talking
the past.
about Charlie. First you said, well, we don't know if he's officially asking for a trade. I say, hey, man, didn't we just have this conversation this summer? Yes, we did. Okay. Did we ever have this reported during the season?
You
go, oh, well, it doesn't matter.
Correlate.
They've never been under 500 in December.
Those don't
correlate. Or whatever the case is. Why not?
Because they don't. And
how does the conversation change? Giannis, you signed off on the roster. So what's your issue?
How do you know? Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me.
This is a situation between Giannis and the front office. We don't know what the situation is. We just know that they are talking.
We're not stupid.
But we also are informed. Yeah, we're not stupid, but we're not informed, Sparky, and you can't go out here and just make conclusions.
Charlie, I'm telling you right now, he's not having a meeting going, I love you guys. We're doing a great job. This is awesome.
But you also can't say he's going in there saying, I need to leave. I am gone now today.
You're not bringing your agent in to not do that.
You're just having a conversation with Peter everywhere. These people bring agents to go to McDonald's at this point, man.
Charlie, your Giannis can sit down and have a conversation with Peter Fagan over breakfast whenever he wants. He can sit down and have a conversation with Horst anytime he wants. If you're bringing your agent in, your agent is coming in with a plan of attack and what he wants to get accomplished in that meeting. I promise you, they have conversations all the time. Giannis and Fagan, Giannis and Horst and all these guys all the time about the basketball team, about how things are going. When he says, hey, according to Shams Charania of ESPN, hey, my agent wants to talk to you with me this time instead of us having our casual conversations. Man, that's not going to be good. Sorry. I mean, we can be ignorant and act like, oh, no, he's not going to ask for a trade in that meeting. We don't know. Okay.
But you can play that game automatically jump to it's going to be bad either.
Did you read the tweet?
Yes.
Here, I'll read the Shams Charania tweet again to everybody that maybe missed it from earlier today. I love Charlie's positive attitude. Maybe he's not going to ask for a trade. Maybe he really likes it in Milwaukee and doesn't want to go anywhere. Man, please. There is no chance any of that is happening. You are not having this meeting to come into this whole thing without coming in with an idea of, yeah, man, it's time. We got to go. The tweet from Shams Charania earlier today, just in, Giannis and his agent have started conversations with the Bucks. This was at 1:55 with the Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere, sources tell ESPN. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Well, if his best fit was staying, he would just be having conversations with the front office himself going, all right, guys, like, what are we thinking here? How are things going to change here with KPJ? Now that he's healthy, what are we going to do with this offense? Doc, what are we thinking about this defense? How are we going to get this? What do you need me to do? If it's about staying, you're working within your circles with the coaching staff and everybody else trying to figure out how to make this work. If you're throwing your hands up and going, hey, man, I'm done. Like, I don't see how we get out of this. I'm out. Then, okay, call my agent in. Let's have a conversation. Then they expect you to kiss their rear end and tell them what the next plans are to try and convince him to stay. Or you just look at him, like I said earlier, and go, you're under contract. I'm not trading you. Have a nice day. Get out of my office. I mean, to me, that's the end of the conversation. You come in asking for a trade, I'm not interested. See ya. There's the door. Coming up next, Charlie's Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. If you can't make it out here to Blake's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue, you can always donate online at wisportsradio.com or text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile as we broadcast from the Bear Sunroom. We are out here, like the fine woman said, out here till 6 o'clock. Food truck's going to be out here from King's Catering. The Food Responders food truck out here. Baked potato bar today, 4 to 6. 100% of the proceeds go to the toy drive, which is awesome for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson. That's Sparky here, Charlie Usen, back in the studios in Hales Corners. Thanks for listening on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, whether it be at WNFL in Green Bay, the game in Wausau, or the game in Duluth and Superior area. Thanks for listening all around the state. I know y'all can't obviously make it to Southeastern Wisconsin and Oak Creek, so if you can make a donation online, that would be spectacular. WISportsradio.com, or donate by texting the word toys to 34984. Toys, TOYS, to 34984. Time now for Charlie's Sounds of the Day.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, Charlie, Sounds of the Day. Top two. Where are we going, Charlie?
All right, so first up, we're going to head over to Ole Miss, but not the football side of things, actually the basketball side of things, where their team was recently upset by Miami the other night. Head coach Chris Beard and former Wisconsin Badger A.J. Storr were at the podium after the game, and they had a little bit of an awkward discussion in the middle of an interview.
Just disappointing, just lack of effort. Not saying that effort alone would have won the game, because we'll see how this thing turns out for Miami. I think they're an NCAA tournament team, but that was really the difference in the game. Second half, we found some guys that wanted to play hard for Ole Miss, and we were able to accomplish some good things. But I want to thank the students that came out. It's our last home game, first semester with the students here. So early, message to them, be safe at the semester break, and we'll do everything we can to get our basketball team better for when those guys come back, the students come back in January.
Do you sort of agree with Coach Beard's assessment that the effort, especially in the first half, just wasn't where it needed to be?
Yeah, they won the first half against us starters. They played majority of the minutes in the first half. The second group came in, brought us some energy. Like Coach said, Zach, came in, gave us a spark. Travis, all those guys. Hobart gave us a little spark too. Yeah.
How do you fix lack of effort? It seems pretty obvious, but is that something you can foster as teammates and stuff, or how do you develop that urgency? I suppose.
I mean, you can't really do too much.
Yeah, we can. We can play different players. Yeah. We can play different players. That's what we did in the second half, where we won the second half by 7 points. We can play different players. We can fix effort, and it will be fixed.
Okay, so with all due respect, that sounded like a jerk move like I would pull at that point when Storr was talking. I mean, that's what it sounds like. I mean, Storr's like, well, I don't really know. And coach is like, yeah, you're going to sit on the bench. Like, Giannis is going to be out of my office when he asks for a trade. Same thing. But see, again, I don't know, man. I've never played at that level. I don't know what that's like. I couldn't tell you how you don't play hard or why you don't play hard. Sometimes there's guys tired. If it's college, if it's the NBA or whatever, they're professionals. Maybe you're out partying too hard the night before. You ain't feeling the best, and you're just trying to get through that game so you don't die. There could be some of that going on. Studying late at night for a test or something. I know, probably not likely. But if that were the case, right, maybe that's why maybe you're a little tired and you can't play hard. I have no idea. I don't know why guys don't play hard at any level or why that's a thing. Obviously, as a fan, you don't understand it. And now in college sports where they're getting paid a lot of money too, just like the pros are at this point with NIL money and revenue sharing and all this other stuff, then it gets even more frustrating at this point. The reason why guys like college sports, guys and women like college sports more than the pros are why? They play hard all the time. You don't have this stuff like you see in the NBA. And if that's going to start to be the case, then college basketball is going to suffer as well. Clip number 2.
All right, next up, we're going to head over to the New York Giants and their pressers from earlier today. Jackson Dart, quarterback, discussed him taking that hit on the sideline against the Patriots and his style of play.
Look, I understand the question, but this is football. I'm going to get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. This shouldn't be any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. And we're not playing soccer out here. You're going to get hit. Things happen. It's part of the game.
You know something? When you start talking about part of the game and so forth, that is a complete player comment. That's not a coach comment. That is a player comment, right? Wouldn't you say, Charlie, the mentality of a player and the mentality of a coach, even if the coach is a former player, something happens in their brains when they become a coach and they forget what it was like to become a player sometimes. The mentality is completely different when you're in it versus when you're watching. Well, you're still in it, but you're watching and you're not playing. Two different mentalities.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you just look at the New York Giants. Brian Daboll was riding on Jackson Dart working out, and Jackson Dart is going to go out here and get hit like that. I mean, I would be frustrated too, because that's ultimately kind of what got Daboll fired, is that his starting quarterback was on the field and his team couldn't compete then.
Again, we've talked about this. It's like telling Jordan Love. Same thing. Josh Allen. Josh Allen still don't listen. He still does what he wants to do.
Cam Newton ended his career that way. Yeah.
Correct. But you're going to take that element out of this kid. He may not be the same quarterback. If you start telling him, nope, no running around, stay in that pocket, don't move, he's going to take unnecessary hits possibly and everything else that comes along with it. You have to be willing to live with that if you take this element away from him. I get the frustration. You don't want your franchise quarterback to get hurt and end his career before he gets going because he's taking unnecessary shots. But it's hard to take something away from a guy that's played like that, probably all the way through from the youth level, through high school, through college, and now in the pros. Oh, no. Stop playing like how you always play. Stop playing, and that's the reason why we drafted you. We don't want you to do that anymore. Like teaching a dog new tricks or an old dog new tricks. That's the saying. That's what you're asking here, and I don't think it's going to happen. All right, what's our third sound clip of the day?
If we want to make it to Matt Arnold, I would say we forego.
No, he's running late.
Oh, he's running late.
He's running late, so we are fine.
Then we can let you get mad at Giannis a little bit more. Let's head over to the Bill Simmons podcast because you didn't get to play this sound
Arnold,
earlier.
You owe me for this.
We didn't get to play the sound earlier. This is Bill Simmons and Max Kellerman discussing potential Giannis trades on the Ringer podcast.
Trades. If Atlanta got Giannis without giving up Jalen Johnson or Daniels or even Risa Shea, could they keep their team, which has this really cool identity right now without Trae?
You're keeping JJ and getting Giannis.
It would be Trae Young, Porzingis, who's an expiring.
See?
They have that Bucks pick, 2027, the worst of Bucks or New Orleans first. They have all their own first, so they can put together 4 firsts, Trae Young, the Porzingis expiring. We'll take Kuzma back. Kuzma will be the tax of the Giannis trade. For the Bucks, it's like, hey, Trae Young, fun guy to have in your team. He's got 2 years left on his deal.
Then the Bucks are just raising the white flag and saying, we are now a franchise that knows we're not going to compete for titles, but we can keep fans coming. And I mean, yes, if you can center a package around Trae Young and get Giannis, you have to do it.
San Antonio is the wild card.
That's enough. Stop. Just stop it. I don't want to hear this anymore. First of all, I can't stand Bill Simmons. We all know that. Lost respect for him like 15 years ago. This is my thing. I want Jalen Johnson. If we're going to talk hypotheticals here, I don't want a superstar in this deal. I don't want him. I don't want Trae Young. I don't want Ja Morant, Paul George. I don't want any of these superstars. None of them. Make it a 3-team. Send that superstar somewhere else. Give me their picks. Give me your picks. And give me a bunch of picks and some young superstar lottery type talent. And then we can have a conversation. Because I don't care if you get Trae Young or not. You're not going anywhere with Trae Young. You're not going to go anywhere with Ja Morant. You're not going anywhere with Paul George or any of these other superstars that you're talking about bringing in here. I understand you have to make salaries work. That's why this got to be 3-team. Figure this out. Give me a couple of expirings to make this work financially, whatever we got to do, and let's move. But I want lottery-type talent like Jalen Johnson, and I want a boatload of first-round picks. Like, start talking 6 to 10. That's how many first-round picks I want in this deal, and a bunch of young talent, Charlie. I don't need a superstar back for Giannis if this is the way it's going.
With that mentality, that leads to what you're saying, though. They're just not going to trade him if that's the plan, because Atlanta's not going to give Jalen Johnson. He's been playing so well over the past season. It doesn't
it's
even matter.
Giannis.
It doesn't
yes,
matter.
It does.
They're not
yes,
gonna,
it does.
They're not going to trade Jalen Johnson in that trade. I guarantee.
Then they don't want Giannis.
They don't want Giannis that much. No team wants Giannis that much. Is my point. Is there's no team that's going to give up their young players.
So he's just not as good as we make him out to be in Milwaukee.
That. I'm saying he's 30 years old at this point. He's a guy that a lot of these young teams have plans for themselves that they want to run with certain rosters. There's not a lot of teams.
We just read an article on ESPN the other day. They have him top 3 in the MVP right now.
When the Bucks have this outward-facing kind of freak out session that we're having right now, they don't have any leverage, and no team will ever let them have the leverage in these situations.
Okay, fair. Then he's not getting traded. Then he's going to sit here and rot in Milwaukee for 2 more years, and I'm not trading him because I'm not trading him just to trade him to make him happy. I don't own this cat nothing, not a thing, nothing. If he is this how this is going to go, and we can't get what we want, we being the Bucks, then we're not trading Giannis. I don't care if he wants to be traded or not. It's not happening. See Sparky Pfeiffer with you, our guy Charlie Usen back there. Coming up, Brewers president of baseball operations and general manager Matt Arnold is going to be here. If you're a Brewers fan, you are not going to want to miss Matt Arnold. It was a great time last year talking with him out here at the Toy Drive. We'll talk with Matt Arnold some more coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, Plains Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Come on out, drop off a toy. The Food Responders food truck is here. They're getting ready to fire up and go coming up here at 4 o'clock with their baked potato par. Definitely want to be a part of that. 100% of the proceeds goes towards the Toy Drive. They don't take food costs, nothing. Every penny they bring in, they give all of it back to the Toy Drive, which is a very cool thing. So if you're hungry, on your way home or in the area, come take advantage of that. Back after this with Brewers president of baseball operations and GM Matt Arnold here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Welcome in. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. As you heard, we are here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, hanging out, doing our thing. Still looking for toys, still looking for cash donations. Always appreciated. We had a sizable donation. Our largest toy drive donation every year comes from Steelwind Industries right here in Oak Creek in the industrial park. They do a great job. They're our guardian angel of the toy drive, I call them, because every year they come up big. So they got their toys in. We're about halfway through that semi with halfway to go. We're here until Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Can't do with all the volunteers that stand out here in the cold in between the sets of doors asking for toys and cash at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Children's Wisconsin does a great job. A lot of our sponsors send volunteers out here as well. So thanks to all of them. Jack Pembroke, Peacock, as we like to call him, he's been out here doing promotions. He's out here every morning from, 6 a.m. to about 7 p.m. every day. Jack's out here. So thanks to everybody for being a part of that. Joining me now is a guy that I'm very, very happy to have here because he is the reason we won an award on this show last year. The award-winning, and I'm not talking about the GM of the Year stuff. No. The WBA award-winning Matt Arnold joins us now, but he's got a fancy title now because he won that award. They're like, if you're going to be a media star, we can't have you leaving for Sparky to go do a talk show. I got to make sure we pay you a little bit more and get you a fancy title. So you're welcome, Matt, on that. Matt Arnold joins us now from the Brewers, president of baseball operations and GM. What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming out here, being a part of this. You obviously were out here last year. Was year one. As I mentioned 100 times, we won an award. It was cool. No pressure, but I'm using this again. So let's make sure we do good.
Yeah.
So when you get to this point where you are now as an organization, and I think we've been at this point maybe for a couple of years now, where I don't know how much you listen to sports talk radio or read or whatever else, but you've got a family, so I'm sure they hear about it, right? The want of, hey, man, are we ever going to get to the World Series? Hey, man, we need to increase payroll. How are we ever going to get there by not doing it that way? That at some point, I would imagine, probably gets to you a little bit. And at some point, you're like, man, I hear you. Like, I'm doing the best I can, right? I mean, I'm sure at some point, you're just like, shut up, everybody. I'm trying my best. Do you have moments like that?
Not really. I mean, I'm a fan too. I grew up in the left field bleachers in Oakland Coliseum. I mean, that's where I grew up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where
you mean Sacramento.
No, we don't.
You mean Vegas?
We're not talking about that. Don't do that to me. Too soon.
I won't.
Too
Go
soon.
ahead.
No, but no, it's like I've lived here for over a decade. I feel like I'm a Wisconsin guy.
Yeah.
I really I'm on the Bucks. And that's a whole. I don't want to be a trigger right now for you, but
please don't.
That whole
You're
thing,
supposed to bring me happy and joy.
But, I care about the Bucks a
Yes.
lot. I pull for the Packers, and I mean, every weekend I'm in anti-Bears.
You go, Matt.
I left the Raiders a long time ago.
Good.
I mean, they moved to Vegas.
Not much left there either.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you lost the Raiders and now the A's to Vegas?
Well,
so you just don't ever go to Vegas again. You're like boycotting Vegas?
We were just there for the GM meetings.
Well, you had to go though.
Yeah, we had to go.
You had no choice.
So we'll go there. But no, I mean, I care deeply. I hear about it from everybody, and it's because we all care. I mean, it's our families, it's our lives. I mean, we put our heart and soul into this thing, and desperately want to win. And so that is first and foremost on my mind every single day.
So I got conflicting reports here. So I'm just going to put you on the spot because that's why you're here. So I get my guy Harris Tur on. I love Harris. That's my guy.
Yeah.
You know Harris.
Love Harris.
Love Harris. I call him Mr. Milwaukee, right?
Sure.
Because Harris Tur was a
piece.
part owner with Bud Selig back when Bud was here. Then he jumps into this ownership group with Mark. Admirals are floundering. They're in trouble, possibly being gone. I got you. I'll take it. So he takes over that, brings in a bunch of Brewers execs, Doug Melvin, Gord Ash, all those guys. They hop on board with them. So he saves the Admirals. He's like the leading booster for men's college basketball over there, takes care of the coaching salaries and all that stuff over there at Milwaukee. The man is Mr. Milwaukee.
No doubt.
So whenever I have him on, I always like to poke in a Brewers question or two at the end. So at the end of the last time I talked to him a couple weeks ago, I said, Harris, we got to spend more money this year. And him and ha, and then at the end, this was before the Woodruff deal. At the end, he goes, yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to be good. I said, okay, fine. Then a few days later, Ken Rosenthal has a piece saying, it doesn't appear like the Brewers are wanting to spend more money, whatever. They might be, having to think of move off Freddie Peralta or something to save money. So Matt Arnold, what's the definitive word, man? Are we raising payroll this year? Are we staying the same? Do we think we're going to have to go back? What do we got?
I think what I would say is, honestly, I think we got to stay nimble, right? We know who we are.
Mhm.
We're the Brewers. We're not the Dodgers, and there are teams that didn't get in the playoffs that spent a lot more than we did, right? And so doesn't mean it doesn't help, but I don't think it's the only piece of this. But to your point, we got to do something, and I think our fans deserve that. And I think really, the move that we just made with Brandon Woodruff, bringing him back,
a lot of money
for I think the largest annual salary in the history of the franchise for a pitcher says a lot,
for sure.
You know what I mean? And so I think that shows the commitment that we have to winning here, and that's a huge credit to Mark Attanasio for doing that. And we're bringing back the core of this team too. I mean, that's another exciting piece of this. I mean, really have an exciting group. We won 97 games last year. Didn't get to Valhalla where we wanted to be,
right?
But we had a really good team last year, and to bring the entire core back plus Woody is really exciting.
Okay, so when the Woodruff thing came about, I said, "Hey, man, like I would assume before you do this, there's conversations between you and the player's agent as far as okay, what kind of likelihood are we talking about you actually taking this deal or not? Because draft picks are vital in smaller markets. If I'm going to lose you, but I can get a draft pick and I know you're not going to take this qualifying offer, we'll make it. Fans will think we're in. It's all cool. And then if you don't take it, it's no big deal because I get the pick." How much conversations are there between you and an agent or any organization and an agent before you decide whether or not you're going to do that?
Yeah, quite a few. And I have a really good relationship with Bo McInnes, but draft picks are draft picks, right? We love those things, but like Woody is Woody, you know what I mean? And so having that guy here and what he meant to this franchise meant more than any kind of draft pick we could have possibly gotten.
Talking with Matt Arnold, president of baseball operations and general manager. So did you know when you offered he was going to take it?
Didn't know, honestly. Yeah, wasn't.
So they didn't give you we're going to sign this.
No, was not sure. Yeah, honestly, we weren't sure what was going to happen there, but thrilled that he took it, for sure. Because I mean, look, this is a guy that has opportunities to go a lot of places, and it's a two-way street, right? He's a chance to go to anywhere he wants. He's that kind of player, and a lot of teams want him. But for him to want to come back here says a lot about him. So is this a precursor to trying to figure out a 3-year deal with Brandon Woodruff and move this money to where we want to move this money to? Or is this just currently a 1-year deal, and that's where we're at with the agent? Currently 1 year, but always open to conversations.
Sure.
Had the door wide open for him for a long time.
The great thing is, the last year when we talked to Matt Arnold, I was talking to Matt Arnold about celebrating that extension for Jackson Churio, and were you doing shots and were you partying after Churio signed that deal, and how cool was that? Now we fast forward a year, and now we sit here and we see a guy like Jesus Made coming and Pena coming and Mizorowski doing Mizorowski type things and so forth. From the outside looking in, as a fan, I look at that Churio model and go, how many times can I do that? Can I do that 4 times? Can I do that 5 times? Because if you can do that 4 or 5 times and keep a core together for 8 years or 10 years or whatever it is, at that type of number, this puts this team in an unbelievable position of strength going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think, like you said, we've done that in a number of cases with a lot of different guys, right? And so I think that has been part of our business model here, and always open to having those kind of conversations. And look, I mean, when you have a good major league team and a really strong farm system, we're in a really good spot.
Right,
gives us a position of strength to deal with in both directions, honestly. And so guys work really hard. A credit to our scouts, our player development guys, all the coaches that we have that do a tremendous job with the system there, just getting those guys ready to go. Because Murph has high standards once they get here, and once they get there, they got to be good, And so that's a credit to the coaches that have done a great job the entire way for all those guys.
The other point about this that we talked about, and I don't know where you sit on it. Me personally, as a fan, I'm a little bit hesitant giving 10 years of money or 8 years of money to a pitcher. I feel like there are things that could go wrong to affect that person's career significantly versus a hitter. If I give the same number to, I'm not worrying about blowing out an elbow or blowing out a shoulder or having something horrific happen like Brandon Woodruff when we lose like 2 years. Does that play into it when you start talking about long-term money where you're like, yeah, I'm more lenient to maybe do that with a hitter than maybe I am with a pitcher?
It all depends. I mean, look, we've signed extensions with Freddie. We've signed extensions with Ashby. I mean, we have those on the books for sure, and always open to having those kind of conversations. Of course, there's probably more risk there with pitchers, like you said, just by nature of what they're doing for a living.
Yeah.
But again, I think like it depends on the type of person for sure.
Mizorowski started in AAA. We've heard about Mizorowski coming up, control issues, so forth, but he's got nasty stuff when he's on. He comes out and he dominates. Then he gets hit or whatever by that ball, and then all of a sudden he's out for a little while. And then he comes back, and now all of a sudden the control issues show up a little bit more. And I was saying on the air going in to the postseason about whether or not he should be on the playoff roster or not. I said, man, maybe he's just a big game pitcher. Maybe this cat just gets going when everybody's on him. And when he came back from that injury, national eyes weren't on him like they were when he first got here. I mean, we throw no hit in this game. We throw no hit in that game. And everybody's talking about Miz, and he's amped, and he's going, and he's juiced. And then all of a sudden that wasn't there anymore. And all of a sudden he started losing his control a little bit. And what happens? You get to the postseason, and there's the guy that we saw earlier in the year. I was like, man, this is just everybody looking at me. I'm going to go. And to me, as a Brewer fan, that gets me excited about what this could be like going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, when you see him when he's on, I mean, he's unhittable, you know, and,
Yes,
and,
he is.
and it's really special. And for a guy to come up and be an all-star after, what was it, 5 or 6 starts,
Yep.
right? I mean, he just came in and walked in the door and blew the doors off. You don't see that very often, you know, and of course, I mean, you can't name every pitcher that has always come up and struggled, right? All these guys go through their ruts. We had it with Woody and Freddie and Corbin and so many guys along the way. But then you have a guy like Miz show up, and then he's dominant. He hits a little bump on the road, and then he comes on for those big games, just like you're saying, Spark. And then you're like, wow, like that's the guy. And he's hopping off the mound and he's fist bumping,
Right.
and like that's really awesome.
That's exactly what you see. And, you know, they were asking Pat Murphy about that. Like, hey, do you want to calm that down? Do you want to temper that enthusiasm down? But this year was the first time where I really felt my age. I'm 50 next year, Matt. I'm 50 next year.
All right.
How long until you're 50?
I got a couple years. I got, a few more.
Yeah, you have no gray
Yeah.
hair. I have a ton. That's why I wear a stocking cap. But this is my thing. When I heard him talk for the first time after a game, I was like, holy cow, am I old? Because he sounds young to me. My producer, Charlie, who's just a few years out of college, even he goes, man, he sounds young. He is really young sounding. But from a maturity standpoint, on the mound and that type of stuff, I feel like he's more advanced than what he sounds in an interview after the game.
No doubt. Yeah. And again, like he is a young kid. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just reality. Well, like you're saying, he definitely is a young guy, and he's got a lot to learn, but man, I mean, he's not afraid, you know, and we saw that back at Crowder when he was pitching there.
Yep.
He was fist pumping and punching out 17 guys, and our scouts were all over him. So a credit to those guys, and a credit to who Miz is, you know, I mean, he wants the ball in big games, and I love that about him.
I always like to face up to when I screw up or say something wrong, and I'm gonna take my lumps for you, Matt Arnold, right now, because I was not a fan of the Quinn Priester deal. I didn't like it. I was like, what are we doing? Like, it didn't work in Pittsburgh. They're ready to give up on him already. Where was he? In Boston or Baltimore, wherever the heck he was. And now he comes to Milwaukee, and I'm like, I love Chris Hook. I think the man should have his own radio show. He's really good. And I was like, man, this here, I don't like this at all. And sure enough, Chris Hook, Priester obviously deserves a lot of credit. I mean, did you see that? When you got him, did you see that happening this year?
I mean, look, he did awesome. All right. I think that's just a great team effort. Starts with Hookie and starts with the kid. I mean, really,
Yes.
like QP did an unbelievable job. I mean, he's such a great kid. Yeah,
QP.
he's awesome. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
whatever
QP.
you want. Yeah,
No,
he's-
we'll go with
he's
QP.
great. Yeah,
All right. QP it is.
He's unbelievable, and he's just a great guy to have around. He really cares. Midwest dude that just gets it, and he's a competitor, and he wants the ball, and you could see. I remember that game against Chicago, against the Cubs at home, packed crowd. He didn't pitch great, you know, and that was like you could feel it, him coming off the mound, and just the youth there, but learning, you know, and this guy really wanted to get there, and you could feel it. It's just like, and then he just started slowly turning the corner, and it's like, hey, I've been there, I've done that, I failed, I know what that's like. And now I understand what that is, and I have to make an adjustment, and he did. And again, that's just an enormous credit to him.
At what point do GMs stop talking to you about when you want a pitcher from them? At what point are they like, dude, we're not talking to you? Because we know how this is going to work. You're going to get him. He's going to become something, and then we're going to look like the organization that can't develop pitching, while Matt Arnold and Chris Hook and company over there to take our guys. Because it seemingly is. My buddy came up with this, and I said, you're crazy. And now I'm totally sold on it. He goes, they turn water into wine every year with pitching. Every year, they transform guys that others may not have had as much success, and you guys always seem to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we have a good team, honestly, of people that are around these guys. We have guys that are identifying, I think, the right guys, hopefully, and then you have the right coaches around them. And I think you get the information, you get the feel. You know, it's a combination. It's not just analytics. It's not just an old school mentality. It's a combination of those things, really, that I certainly believe in. And I think just the balance of those, and the young guys now, they really want information. You know, it's not old school as much as it used to be. It's hey, how can I make an adjustment, and little things like that they want to know and they want to learn But there's a point where that becomes too much, right? And I think we just have to try to find the right balance for every player.
Let me help you. What Matt Arnold's saying. I know for a fact when I used to be down at the ballpark all the time, and we talk to hitting coaches and stuff, I'd be like, "Hey man, so what's going on with this guy?" And we'd just be watching, and be like, "He don't want to talk to me. He said he'll talk to me when he wants help. What's that guy supposed to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do." He's like, "So I just sit here and I get blamed for it." He goes, "But he won't even talk to me." He says he's been in the league so many years, he'll figure it out himself. Again, right? And as a GM, there's nothing you could do if that's where a player is.
Yeah, they have to want to learn. They have to want to grow. And sometimes you got to hit rock bottom. Not all guys are like that, but certainly there are some of those guys. And I think when you overcook it and you try to give guys, hey, here's everything about you, it's like they're like, whoa, I don't want that. You know what I mean? There is a level of too much, when it comes to information, because now there's just information everywhere.
Correct.
And so it can overload everybody. It's like, hey, let's just keep this simple. And so again, I think our coaches all do a really good job of that.
He is Matt Arnold, president of baseball operations, general manager of your Milwaukee Brewers. He's going to hang out for one more segment out here at the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson S., the foster care arm there. Out here until 6 o'clock. The Food Responders food truck is out here with their baked potato bar going on until 6 p.m. as well. If you're not able to make it out here, you can always go online and donate. WISportsradio.com or text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. It's brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile as we broadcast live from the Bear Sun Room. Back with more Matt Arnold. Coming up next, we'll switch gears a little bit. We'll talk about these young guys that took that next step, like Bryce Terang. Talk about him coming up next here. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome back. We are live from the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue. Plenty of time for you to come out here and donate up until 6 o'clock tonight. Out here tomorrow, out here Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Would love to see you come out here. If you can't make it, you can donate online at wisportsradio.com. Joining me here for his second segment, which is awfully nice of him to stick around for two segments. He is the president of baseball operations for the Milwaukee Brewers and general manager, Matt Arnold. Matt, how does the conversation come up to be president of baseball operations? And really, at the end of the day, what more responsibilities do you really have with that title and on hand anyhow? Because I think, and I don't know this to be true, that there wasn't a president of baseball operations prior to this. So I'm guessing you were already doing all of this stuff anyhow. And now this was a way of, let's take care of men, give them a little extra something.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's not up to me. It's up to Mark. And I'm super thankful and appreciative to be here in a really good situation. I've worked for, I guess, 5 different organizations in 26 years and spent the last decade plus here.
Yeah.
And I really love it. And so it means a lot to me to have the belief of ownership here and our fans and everybody. And I love it here, man. I just want to win a ring.
I'm going to put you on the spot again, huh?
Oh boy.
You okay?
Sure.
I think I know, but I don't. I think I know, but I don't. I'm not convinced I know. So when David Stearns was here, and he would come on Toy Drive every year, and I love David Stearns, always will. It was fun because if you had David Stearns on the phone, didn't tell you nothing, very straight laced, couldn't get anything out of him. You put David Stearns in this setting at the Toy Drive, a little bit more looser. It's off season. He was good. He joked around with us in commercial breaks. A lot of fun. Loved it. So I will always love David Stearns. But there was always that talk of Stearns in New York and wanting to possibly go home at some point if given the opportunity and so forth. And I know your childhood team ripped out your hearts. I'm not worried about you going to Vegas. So having said that, is there a dream? You don't have to tell me what it is, but is there a dream job in this league out there still in the back of your mind? We're like, if something were to open up, maybe, but otherwise, like, I'm good. Like, are you and I going to be doing this in 20 years?
I hope so.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
this is it, man.
Yeah,
For
okay.
me, I mean,
I'm
geez,
just
I
saying.
didn't think I'd be doing this.
I mean,
you
I'll
know
be
what I
like
mean?
70. So if I'm still kicking doing this in 20 years, we're doing good.
Let's keep
Both
doing
of
it, man.
ourselves.
Why
Yes.
not? I love that.
Okay.
No, that's it, man. This is it. I don't know what else. I mean, this is it. I love it.
I'm all in on this because if you and I could do this every year, I'd be happy.
Do it. Why not?
Okay, so let's talk about some of these guys that took steps. Bryce Terang, we knew he was great defensively. You knew based on where he was coming out into the draft that he had the offensive tools. And then that last year, whether it be the pressure, whatever else, he kind of tailed off. You all did your thing with him. He comes in, does his thing at the pro level. The power man. 10 home runs in a month.
Yeah.
What? Where did that all come from, man?
I'll tell you what, this kid had some of this even in high school, honestly. Like, this kid had juice. He had power the other way as a young kid, going back to, when he was really a youngster, honestly. And so it's just getting to it, in game. And this guy was always just a guy that just sort of served the ball the other way, really, really good hitter. And now he's just starting to catch it a little more out front. And it's just like, he just keeps getting better in a way that, like, it was in there though. I mean, I promise you, like, the raw tools were always there, and it's just like getting it out. And you see this guy take BP. He hits the ball as far as anybody on our team. I mean, there's Yelly probably on a different level, and maybe Churio Contreras, those types of guys. And then it's like Terang. I mean, he can hit balls way up there, in the Johnsonville deck or whatever. It's just, I mean, he can smoke a ball. And so, the homers that he hit this year, and obviously big ones in the playoffs. I mean, I'm so happy for him.
Last year in spring training, we talked about, hey man, why can't they just play Terang at shortstop, leave Joey Ortiz at third, let Caleb Durbin play second, and let's just go? And it wasn't happening. Then all of a sudden one day, y'all tried it. Terang went to shortstop, and I think Ortiz maybe went to second for a day or two, whatever. And then Terang had something with his shoulder, and then that was the end of it. We never saw it again. Are we locked into Terang being second base going forward and being that guy for the Brewers or at second? Or is there still a conversation piece of maybe he does eventually end up at shortstop, and would he be open to go into shortstop?
Yeah, I think Bryce always just wants to do what's best for the team. I mean, he's talked about that for years. We did, as you talked about, we had a little bit of the shoulder thing in spring at one point. But, honestly, he just wants to do it best. And I think when you see both those guys together, I mean, Ortiz at short, I mean, it's hard to find a better shortstop, to be honest.
Really good defensively. Yep.
And then, obviously, with Terang just coming off a platinum glove at second base, it's like, how much do you want to mess with that? You know what I mean? In just terms of the defensive combo that they have. And the chemistry that they have. And it was just like talking to both of them. It made the most sense. But, again, it's still open to conversation because I think Bryce, again, just wants to do what's best for the team.
I love having Matt Arnold out here because I can tell him how my brain works, and then he can laugh at me like, that's not how it works, Sparky. But in my brain, I always look at positions. So I'll just go back. John Hammond, when he was the Bucs GM, for years would always tell me while the Bucs were struggling, I'd be like, okay, so what is this guy? And he'd always say, Sparky, you are whoever you can guard, right? That was his way of defining what position you are, right? Who you are, whoever you can guard defensively, all right? Fair enough. I'll never forget it. I thought it was great. I'll ask you, how do you define where someone is a best fit on your team? Because for me, I'm going to take Caleb Durbin front and center. I look at him with his offensive profile, his arm strength, everything, and go, he's a second baseman. I look at Terang with his defense, his arm, everything else, and go, that's a shortstop. With all due respect to Joey Ortiz, I need a power bat at third base, and then I feel like we can go, and you put another bat in the middle of this lineup, and maybe that kind of catapults you forward. But how do you define who you are?
Good question. I don't know if for me, it just depends on sort of the personnel and like how it fits together. I don't know if it's just on an individual basis, if that makes sense. I like to look at it sort of in concert with the rest of the guys.
Sure.
And so it's like, how do they work together? What's the chemistry there? Who has the best feel for this? And like you said, you're right about the tools there. I mean, Durbin probably has the least arm there, but he also gets rid of it the fastest.
He does.
I mean, so he makes up for a lot of those things. His first step quickness, his agility over there. I mean, he made some unbelievable plays at third. So really, but I don't disagree with you because I do think you're right. Like, I think he profiles as a really good second baseman too. The challenge is there to the point about like working in concert. It's like, we already have a guy who's a platinum glove winner at second. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much do you want to mess with literally the best defender in the entire sport? That's something that we wrestle with. And it's like, is it worth that? And again, I think this is still a conversation we can still have, but as far as sort of baking this all together with all three of those guys, that was sort of part of it.
Speaking of baking, baked potato bar going on right now over there at the Food Responders food truck, brought to you by King's Catering in Oak Creek. Make sure to take advantage of that out here. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson's, Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, going until 6 o'clock, being joined by Matt Arnold, President of Baseball Operations, GM of your Milwaukee Brewers. Simple question. How much do you believe luck plays into what you do?
I wish it was none, but there is, it's like a batted ball a quarter of an inch lower, or a quarter of an inch higher is a homer, and one of them's a ground out. You know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes you're like, man, that was the right pitch in the right situation. And so
what about on talent evaluation?
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere. Don't you worry.
Man, I love this. No, I love talent evaluation. I've spent, forever on this stuff. And I really, really love it. And it's far from perfect, man. I want to continue to get better and learn as much as I possibly can. But you gotta, I think, just continue to make good bets. You know what I mean? And it's like directionally, it's like, what are the tools that we want? What are the skills that we want? What are the types of people that we want in the organization? It's all of those things in concert. And then how do you bake all that together? We're talking about baking stuff,
right?
Including the
baked potato bar,
outside, right? Which everyone should come out and get that, no doubt.
No doubt.
But it's like that is not a perfect science. Like, you can't, there's no formula for that. And so I think just trying to put all that stuff together and just continue to say, hey, this guy has those kind of ingredients. Let's make that bet. And then let's do that over and over. If you stack those bets, I think you'll have good outcomes.
People always say, like, the NFL draft's a crapshoot, right? You don't say about the NBA draft, there's 2 rounds. But the NFL draft, that's a crapshoot. And then the MLB draft, you really get into that because now you're talking about high school kids and 30 rounds and whatever it is, right? So then people really want to take it away. And I always kind of argue against that. I'm like, man, these guys bust their butts all year scouting and evaluating and everything else. And when they do it right, they deserve credit, right? I mean, that's my thought. Like Gutekunst with the Packers the last couple of years, it's just home run after home run after home run doing his thing. Where I'm going with this is, now be honest. I got honest serum somewhere in this thing if I can find it. Man, you all just get lucky on Andrew Vaughn.
Oh man, no. Well, look, I think
because
that
that's not a
there's
pitcher.
lot of
That's not a
No,
pitcher.
for
You
sure.
all turn pitchers all the time.
No, I think look, there's a lot that goes into those types of decisions, and certainly when you talk about a guy like Andrew Vaughn, who was a third overall pick in the country, like that's not a guy who's a sleeper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's been a guy for sure. And I think it was just like he needed a change of scenery. We had people that knew this guy, and we talk about the people. It's like there's tools, there's skills, and then there's the person, right? And I think when you talk about betting on the right person, we had relationships with this guy, and people knew who he was. And I had so many of our guys coming over and saying, "Hey, man, you got to get this guy. You got to get this guy." And so when you talk about betting on what the pedigree was there, and then you talk about the right person, we thought it was a great fit.
Yeah, I mean that one blew everybody's mind. I think White Sox people. Did you get any calls from the White Sox after he started doing what he did? I mean, first couple of games, I'm sure they're like, okay, well, that's not going to work. But by September, I'm sure that somebody from the White Sox had to call me like, man, what the hell is going on over there? Like, what did you do, man? We couldn't figure this kid out.
I mean,
doesn't that happen at some point in the GM meetings where you start having a conversation like, why was he so bad with our team and you all did so good? If I was the GM of another team and you did that, I'd want to know.
I mean, if you haven't made a trade that didn't work out, you haven't made enough trades. You know what I mean? It's just like you got to do that. And so we've all got those, and it's going to happen. And you got to just keep fighting through it. And again, it's just about stacking bets and trying to make decisions on the right people.
I want to go to a guy who I know a lot of people love, and I know a ton of people feel bad for and are frustrated with. And now people don't even talk about this kid when they start talking about what next year looks like. Garrett Mitchell. Where are we at? Because this dude, when right, we haven't seen it for a full year, but when right, is a stud.
Stud. Yeah. I mean, look at what he did in the playoffs a year ago. I mean, he was unbelievable. I mean, this guy, and you put him next to all these other guys. I mean, it's a different animal. I mean, he is so physical. He's the fastest guy on the field. He's got the best tools, in the stadium at all times. I mean, there's just nobody that's going to out athlete that guy, but he just hasn't stayed healthy, right? And so I think that's just going to be something that he's got to continue to work at. And that doesn't mean he's not working. I mean, this kid is such a good kid, and he cares so much. And when he's gotten hurt, he's crushed, because he's worked so hard to get back there. So I do feel bad for him because he has put in the work, and he deserves to be on the field and contributing because he is a great kid and he's a great athlete, and like I said, in the playoffs a year ago, like he was carrying us at times. I mean, he's really talented.
Can we go back to arbitration? Because I swear to you, I get mad. I understand. I know fans get mad or whatever else. You have a new CBA coming up, or negotiations or whatever is going to happen here after the next baseball season. Everybody talks about, well, we need a cap. Well, we need a salary cap floor and everything else. I vote for getting rid of arbitration and just abolishing that thing in general, because any player that goes in there, which I would never advise a player to go to any one of these damn hearings, but any player that goes in there is going to come out bitter and mad at whoever the other team is because y'all are telling them what's wrong with him and why you won't pay him. So that's never a positive situation. And you talk burning bridges and whatever else, like that always goes down the wrong path. And especially like, oh, we're arguing over 400,000 or we're arguing over 750,000. And the fans are like, come on, man, quit being a cheapskate. Just give the guy what he wants so he stays happy. And fans do not understand why this is here. And I think, well, maybe not for the owner's side of things, but at least for keeping relations well with the players, if you get rid of that arbitration system, maybe that helps a little bit.
Yeah, look, I don't love it, and I don't think the players love it, and it's like, it is, because like you said, it's like, hey, we love you, but just guess what? We're about to, unleash this case against you, right? Like, that stinks,
And it's a legit case. Like, people don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how long does it take for you to build an arbitration case?
It's like months, it really is.
Think about that for a second.
And again, I don't spend a lot of minutes on that. We have guys that do, and it's part of their job, and it stinks, because that's just part of the business, and that's just the formula that happens. For years. That's what happens. I wish to speak about the formula. Like, I wish it was just a formula. It's like, hey, you did this, you get paid this, right? It would just be much, much cleaner, in my opinion.
Right.
It's not up to me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like, that's part of the business. It is what it is. What I always want to try to do is just make sure we're kind to players. We're humane to them because we do care about them, and I really we're all pulling for these guys. We want them to be great. And so if they're great, they're going to make money. They're going to do a lot of great things. And I think everybody wins. So I just want what's best for them and for the team. And so it is a tricky dynamic, certainly, but it is part of the formula right now.
Freddie Peralta. Got to talk about Freddie Peralta. 1 year, $8 million left. Have y'all talked about extensions? Where is Freddie Peralta's mind at going into this last year? But dude's been around here a long time. I know he's worked with different youth groups in the area as well. So he's got a huge fan base from the kids that have interacted with him over the course of time, loved by everybody. Where do we sit there going into the last year of his deal?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, look, he's got roots here. I mean, he's somebody that's been a huge part of what we've been doing. I think we're better with this guy. There's no question. I think in any type of situation like what we are, I think it's important for us to at least be open to things, but at the same time, the bar is going to be really high. Anytime we're going to have those kind of conversations, and we have, and those are tough. You know what I mean? To in order to sustain what we're doing right now, we have to make tough decisions.
Does the Woodruff contract work against you talking to Freddie? Because
No.
you just paid him $22.5 million?
No, not at all.
So they don't use that necessarily against you?
No, not at all. No, I think we have the support from Mark to bring back the core, and that was what Mark wanted to do. That's what we wanted to do, and I think like we absolutely have the support to do that.
That's awesome. He is Matt Arnold, president of baseball operations, general manager of your Milwaukee Brewers. I appreciate you coming out, man. Hanging out again. I think it was fun like always.
Always. Thanks, man.
You're good. You're not sweating or anything.
No,
you feel all
not
right?
at all.
It's
Yeah.
nice in here, though, ain't it? Look,
This
it's
is way
50
better-
degrees in here, man.
Way better than outside.
You're right. It's 50 degrees. Now he's going to go get himself a baked potato over there. Our tent is going to fly away out there.
Maybe two.
Yeah, I think our tent almost just flew away outside. Some guy wearing a Brewers something or other around his neck is out there. Look at him. He's holding it down, man.
Hero.
That chain around your neck is helping to keep that tent down.
Love it.
That's good. I appreciate it. Teamwork. Out here, Matt, thanks so much for coming on.
man.
It is the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Come on out down here to Blaine's Farm in Fleet in Oak Creek. Check out the potato bar, baked potato bar going on right now at the Food Responders food truck. 100% of the proceeds go to the toy drive. Steve Wilding and his crew do an unbelievable job inside that food truck. So come out here, have some dinner from the baked potato bar as well. Donate some toys. We have cash. We can take cash as well. If you can't do that, you can always go online and donate at wisportsradio.com. Coming up next, John McNamara will join us. We'll talk about the Badgers signing day, early signing day today. And how does John McNamara feel about the fact that in this class that they signed today, only one kid is from the state of Wisconsin? Sheesh. That's next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. We are out here at Blaine's Farm in Fleeting Oak Creek, like you just heard, hanging out. If you missed Matt Arnold, did you miss a lot? You missed a lot, I tell you. Matt Arnold is the man when it comes to doing these interviews and doing what he does for a living. I'm here to tell you, off air, in commercial breaks, man, this dude could have my damn job, if we're being honest. This man is out. We're talking college football in the break. He's telling me who he's guys with, what's going on there. We're talking about the Bucks. We're talking about the Badgers. This dude is on top of everything, man. Not only is he like executive of the year, killing it as a Bruce GM, he could be a sports talk show host and win WBA awards all by himself, Charlie.
Man, when your life is surrounded by sports, no matter what the career path is, I think you just pay attention to sports a lot and you get some good insight.
Yeah, he is so knowledgeable on everything. So, yeah, it was cool to have Matt Arnold out here. Thanks a lot for him. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Oh, he's on the phone. John McNamara joins us now, Badgers 24/7. Follow him on Twitter at McNamara_24/7. John, how are we doing today, buddy?
Doing well, sir. Thanks.
I know it's a busy day. It is the early signing period for the Wisconsin Badgers. I will just lead with my number one question that I'm the most irritated by, and that is they got only one dude from the state of Wisconsin today. That's it? Just one?
Yeah, Ben Wenzel, the linebacker from Appleton North. That's the lowest number since I've been doing this, since the early 2000s. So definitely something that this staff today talked about, not necessarily correcting, but it's, re-emphasizing that in-state kids are a focus for them. They did get a junior college kid today in Taylor Schaefer. He played in the Door County, Southern Door, I want to say. But like you talked about, Spark, it's a low number, not something that Wisconsin wants to have happen. But then you go to the flip side of that, they only signed 12 kids today. So low number in terms of volume, low number in terms of in-state kids. And overall, this class is probably talked about, at least right now, for the guys that they did not sign as opposed to the guys that they did sign.
Yeah. Who was it? Pettit, that wide receiver that's going to be an absolute beast. They lost him. And they lost some other guys as well.
Yeah. They lost
what do you hear?
Amari Latimer just minutes ago, a long-time 4-star running back commit for them.
What?
Arguably the top commit in their class.
No.
Minutes ago just went and signed with West Virginia. So significant blow for the Badgers.
God.
I didn't see that within the last 5 minutes or so.
What is it on my show today? I'm doing the toy drive. I'm all happy. Giannis news is breaking left and right. I'm madder than all get out. I was like, man, Arnold is coming here. I will be in a good mood. And I was, man. I was in a good mood talking to Matt Arnold out here at the toy drive. Then you come on, John McNamara, and you tell me they lose their best running back.
Yeah, significant blow. I mean, you look at Amari Latimer. He was their number one running back target for close to 2 years. They get him committed in the spring. Obviously, then you got to hang on. Schools like Ohio State really made a push early in the fall. Then it was Tennessee. Then, as of last night, really, it was Miami. Then now West Virginia swoops in. There's a brother connection there with his older brother. Well, you're not dumb, Sparky. Come on.
No. But what I've been told, Hold on. I'm with you. I agree. I'm not dumb. But I thought Chris McIntosh and these donors have all been saying how they're going to spend all this new money coming up this offseason. So how in the world do you let this guy leave then?
Well, I don't think it's pure money here, right? I mean, Wisconsin, from the people that we've talked to, we're matching things and upping things all up until, last hour or two here. There's a piece with his brother, Jameer Latimer, who is a cornerback on Wisconsin's roster right now. He played for Rich Rodriguez when he was at Jacksonville State. A bulk of that staff now is at West Virginia. I don't want to come out and say this will happen for sure, but if Jameer Latimer were to wind up at West Virginia as well via the transfer portal, that would obviously not shock anyone. So I think there was a bigger family dynamic in place, but everything that happens right now in college football is money related. So that was without a doubt a component as well.
What is going on, John McNamara, with Vanderbilt and Wisconsin? I mean, they flip a wide receiver that was going to go to Vanderbilt. They steal a defensive lineman that Vanderbilt was recruiting as well. They've got more guys from Tennessee, I think, than they do from Wisconsin. Tell me about that connection and how they're doing down there.
Yeah, obviously spots kind of opened up late in this class with guys decommitting. Jaden Petit decommit, so they had really two needs at receiver, I would say, but they got one in a kid named Keyshawn Tapatau, like you mentioned, longtime Vanderbilt commit that they got to flip to Wisconsin. He's a real solid player. Luke Fickell talked about today that he's more than just a slot. They project him to play on the outside, but he's not in the same class as a guy like Petit, who they lost to Oklahoma. So, they get two receivers in this class. I like the guys that they got. Zion Legree is the other guy from Florida. I think he's a guy that has a chance to play at Wisconsin, be a good player. But again, the theme around this class, at least right in this hour, is the guys that they were not able to sign, which is unfortunate for that coaching staff, obviously.
I feel like they did okay on the defensive line in this class, though.
They did. I mean, a guy like DJ Ba, they got him early, and he looked at a lot of schools. Penn State was there. He was in with Georgia Tech, Nebraska. The list kind of goes on. And then kind of in a bit of a surprise, and this is where that new influx of money, I think, comes in. He announced a couple of weeks ago that he was rock solid with Wisconsin. He was a guy that a lot of people had their eye on of where he might end up elsewhere outside of Wisconsin. But Luke talked about him today as a guy that they're going to get up in January. They're going to put the weight on, and he could potentially play right away. And then you look at Arthur Scott. Talked to Pat Lambert, the director of recruiting. 6'4", 305 pounds. Another kid that they're getting up early, and another kid that they think can contribute early on in his career. And then overall theme of today, from sitting at that press conference, listening to Luke Fickell, listening to Pat Lambert, they are targeting guys who they think can play either in year one or year two, and that is the complete high school focus. So as they're looking at these guys, it's no longer of what this guy will look like in 3 or 4 years. It is, can he contribute in year one or year two? Otherwise, they're going to use those available 105 spots on guys in the transfer portal and then roster retention as well. So small class, they kind of paint it as intentional. I don't know if it was intentional as they described it, but it is moving much more towards an NFL type model. And Luke Fickell mentioned NFL a few times during his conversation today with the media.
He shouldn't be allowed to even say the word NFL at this point after how bad this program has looked for 3 years. You should just be fried and focus on how to coach college football and recruit at that same level. What about offensive linemen? That was a concern going into this thing. At one point they had 2, and at one point they had 0. What did they end up with?
They ended up with 1, so somewhere in the middle. Brady Beckenheis, a kid from Massachusetts. He's a composite 4-star kid. Could play tackle. I think he's likely an interior guy for Wisconsin, but Luke talked about today, and they signed 5 scholarship linemen in that 25 class. So this number was always going to be a little bit lower. But again, with that emphasis on, can we get in guys that we think can contribute early on in their career? I like him overall. I to be real honest with you, I like him better than the 2 guys that ended up leaving and decommitting. But you likely needed 2 in this class, if not 3. I think there's work to be done there. Another thing Luke Fickell talked about at that position is they will spend on the offensive line in the transfer portal. You look right away at center. I think they spend on a center. I think they spend on if you can get a starting tackle, I think they feel good about Kevin Haywood at left tackle. But if you can add a starting right tackle, I think they'll do that. So money will be allocated to the offensive line via the transfer portal. Luke Fickell said that today.
Let's talk about the quarterback position and what the future of the quarterback position looks like for this football team, because they did go out and bring in Ryan Hopkins. Obviously, here in this recruiting class, you can tell us about this kid. He's 6'3". And then what it looks like, after this year and the likelihood of them hopping back in the transfer portal again.
Yeah. Hopkins is a guy that was atop their board for a long time. I think they did a real nice job in his recruitment. Obviously, they get him signed today. A lot of different offers that he had on the West Coast. He played for Mater Dei, so that's about as good of a high school competition as you can get in the United States. They get him up early. Again, not a kid that they want to play year one. You don't see a lot of true freshmen do that. You look at the room overall, they are going to have to get 2 is the number I've been told of transfer portal guys. So they're going to have to find their starter again, and then a depth piece. Then you look at Carter Smith, The stuff that we're hearing on him is that he does return to Wisconsin for his second season. But again, your starter for the fourth year in a row, and Luke Fickell, I'm sure, prays to God that they keep that guy healthy, whoever he might be, is going to come via the transfer portal. And like I said, I think they take two there from the portal. So again, today's about the high school kids. I know I bring up the portal a lot, but those two are so intermixed right now. But going back to Hopkins, he's a good quarterback, but I think the thing that maybe separates him is what he can do with his legs. And Pat Lambert talked about today, the quarterbacks that we want right now are dual threat guys that can get it done with their arm and their legs. I think Hopkins checks those boxes. The future's bright for him. But Wisconsin does not want to be in a scenario where he is taking serious reps this year like Carter Smith was doing in 2025.
Jeff Grimes is the offensive coordinator. Do we expect Jeff Grimes to be here more than a year? Because that's all he lasted at Kansas.
He's going to be back next year. I don't see major coordinator changes. I don't know that Luke can go through three coordinators in his time at Wisconsin. It was Phil Longo, and that was without a doubt Luke's biggest mistake at Wisconsin. He made an attempt to correct that with Jeff Grimes. The expectation is that Grimes is back next year. Again, anything can happen in college football, but if you're looking at Jeff Grimes, I don't think you really got a taste or feel of what he truly wants to do. They were so crippled at the quarterback position. They lose Billy Edwards, which the offense was designed for, which Grimes had a part of recruiting to Wisconsin and bringing over via the portal. You lose Danny O'Neal. You lose Hunter Simmons, and you're playing Carter Smith down the end of the season there. And Luke talked about that today of how many football teams in college football were down to their third or fourth string quarterback. Not many. So that was significant. I think if they bring their portal guy in, which Jeff Grimes will obviously have a significant influence on, if he stays healthy, whatever Grimes' offense is going to look like, it's not going to be what Wisconsin rolled out this year because it was very much catered to down the stretch a true freshman who was getting limited reps in the summer and into fall camp. So I guess the jury is still out on Jeff Grimes, but I think as you alluded to, Sparky, he doesn't stay places more than 2 or 3 years, but I expect him to be Wisconsin's coordinator in 2026.
Okay, so there's a guy named, I think it's Jerry Bohannon. Then there's a guy named Blake Shapen. When you put into Google, what quarterbacks has Jeff Grimes developed? That's what I did while you were talking. We have those two guys who I don't know. And then the other guy he's credited with is Zach Wilson, who, of course, went on to be a failure in the NFL, for being honest, when he got to the NFL, in his time at BYU. My thing on this is, if you are going to turn around this program, you have to have guys that are NFL caliber guys. I mean, you look at the time that the Badgers had quarterbacks outside of Russell Wilson. No, they didn't have any other big name NFL starting quarterbacks, but you know what they did have? They had backup play callers in the NFL for a number of years. These guys may not have been first round picks, but they were NFL caliber quarterbacks that got on the rosters when they were done playing. This current line here, and since Fickell has been here, there's not a one at this point, John.
I think what Luke Fickell would say to that is Jeff Grimes and his system, the system that they want to put in place here, is designed where you don't need to have a first-round NFL draft pick. And if you look at Phil Longo's offense, I think you do need that top-end quarterback play of a guy that might be, in the first round, second round, third round. Phil Longo made his bones with a guy named Drake May, who might be the MVP of the National Football League this year. And if you kind of dig deeper into that, Drake May kind of fell into his lap at North Carolina and put up huge numbers there. So I don't know that this offense needs a first-round type of quarterback, but this offense needs a proven guy who's going to stay healthy throughout the year. From Wisconsin has never had that, and that's not excuse-making on my end, but if you're going to kind of look at a glimmer of hope for Luke Fickell, he has not had in 3 years now the guy that he wanted to play quarterback for him make it through an entire season. So again, we'll see what Grimes can do. We'll see what he does via the portal. I think a name to watch right now is Cole Joseph from Old Dominion. That's kind of the early buzz there. So they're going to get their starter via the portal. Can he stay healthy? Can he lead them to a bowl game? That all remains to be seen right now.
Did he just enter the portal yesterday, 2 days ago? Relatively recent, right?
Well, that's the thing. Guys they can't officially enter till January 2nd. But that's the day when I think you'll see a lot of guys officially commit and sign. So, I mean, there's back channeling that's been going on, all fall. So, yeah, he hasn't come out and said it officially. Guys obviously can't officially go into the portal to the second, but yeah, he's a guy that is on Wisconsin's radar. There's certainly some smoke there. There's going to be a lot of guys I think pop up on Wisconsin's radar from that quarterback position. So we'll see more names come out there. Like I said, I do think they take two, but Joseph could be a name to watch early on in the process, but that certainly doesn't guarantee that he winds up at Wisconsin.
John McNamara, BadgerBlitz.com, part of doing his thing on Twitter at McNamara_27. John, thanks so much for coming on. Everybody go check out all of his stuff on signing day today, the early signing day period today. Appreciate you coming on, John.
Absolutely, Sparky. Thanks for having me.
Take care. There he is, John McNamara, joining us here as we're out here at the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Still plenty of time to get out here, donate a toy, donate some cash up until 6 o'clock today. And all of our volunteers are out here working hard, doing their thing. And also we have the Food Responders food truck out here from King's Catering in Oak Creek. Got a baked potato bar going on today. Been watching people walk back and forth to that and take advantage of that. That is also something that you must do if you come out here to Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. If you can't make it out here, all you got to do is go online, donate there at wisportsradio.com. Text TOYS. You can do it that way, too, with your phone. Text TOYS to 34984. Toy Drive is brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile as we broadcast from the Bear Sunroom. Bucks legend John McGlocklin up next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome in. We are out here, like you heard, at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Out here to 6 o'clock today, tomorrow, Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stop out, drop off a toy, toys, whatever the case may be. I know Natty Oaks Natty Oaks? West Allis, I think it is. Locally in the area, they've been doing their own toy drive. They're going to bring and drop off some of their toys from Natty Oaks, which is much appreciated. I know the Oak Creek Fire Department, I heard some rumblings that they're going to be coming and buying their toys here as they drop off toys each and every year. Will Franklin Fire Department, who in years past be here at some point tomorrow or Friday? We'll see. North Shore Fire Department, they're usually out here every year too. Will they be here at some point Thursday or Friday? We will find out. And what about the Oak Creek Police Department? Remember, earlier in the week, I challenged that cop to get the Oak Creek Police Department to donate some toys this year for the first time in 19 years. So we'll see if I was successful with that or if I'm a complete failure. Joining us now, a Bucks legend, John McGlocklin, joins us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Johnny Mac, how are you today?
Hey, Spark, this is our annual, man, and I think it's wonderful, as I say every year, what you're doing out there and raising all these toys for the kids. And, I believe in that. And by the way, while I was waiting to come on for a moment there, I remembered something. So I never told you this story, but Sparky, your famous name, when I was in late grade school, junior high and high school, and even when I went off to college, my pet dog was Sparky. And you're kind of my pet person. So I thought that kind of went together.
I'll tell you something too, John. Kay, who has been with me now for quite some time, she also had a pet dog named Sparky. And because of that, she hates the nickname Sparky for that very same reason, John, for that very, very same reason. John, I want to talk about this Giannis thing. I don't know if you saw the reports earlier today. It's been all over the place. So Brian Windhorst was on ESPN Cleveland and said prior to the season, Giannis went to the Bucks, said he wanted to be a Knick. The Bucks made a call to the Knicks, couldn't work out a deal. People he talks to don't think he'll be on the Bucks next year. That was this morning. Then this afternoon, about 1:55, prior to me coming on the air, Shams Charania of ESPN, who's been all over the Get Giannis Out of Milwaukee campaign tour, said that Giannis and his agent apparently are going to meet with the Bucks in the next couple of weeks to discuss whether or not Giannis wants to be here for the remainder of the year leading up to the trade deadline, or if he wants to move on to somewhere else. I'm mad, I guess. I went off for like 30 minutes to start the show about how this whole thing has played out because I'm a fan and I'm allowed to get mad at this, I think. You're more level-headed. You're a former player. You were there when Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was traded from Milwaukee, so you watched another superstar be moved. You tell me your reaction to all of this.
Well, first of all, Sparky, I see all this stuff online that has been going on for years, constantly. And it's exhausting. It's nauseating. I just get tired of it because you don't know what's true. You don't know what's untrue. Do I pick up my phone and write John Horst and ask him? No. I stay out of it. I mean, he's got his hands full, and I'm a believer in him 100%. I think he's an outstanding human being. He's good at his job. There's just a lot to know about him. And this is as far as putting players together and getting players and trying to maintain, an organization that's played at our level. It's very difficult. And as we saw in the Lillard trade, and we've seen them over the years, you don't know how things are going to work out. You don't know about personal issues, injuries, or how guys function together. You can't plan on and identify how players are all going to function together, and that camaraderie thing, and the environment that they create, and all that. You don't know. You can judge skill, but you can't judge those factors with players. So I'm a John Horst guy. Number one, I don't know how true all this is. If it is true, to me, I'm disappointed in Giannis because he's a different person than Kareem. Kareem was never happy here. He was malcontent here. He had other issues about living in this community that didn't match up with him. And I understand that. I understood that with Kareem. I had no ill will toward Kareem. And when he got traded, in many ways, I was happy for him because he was finally happy. Giannis hasn't been that way. And if Giannis truly is asking for a trade midseason, I think that's jumping ship. I think that's sad. And if he has done that. Now, if he were to wait till his contracts run out and this time not re-sign, I would say, Giannis, thank you all these years for re-signing and remaining a Buck, remaining loyal to the city. It's very loyal to you and the organization. But for him to try to pull the plug mid-season, if that's true, I find that disappointing.
If you were here, I'd give you a hug. I would hug you and hug you and hug you some more, John McGlocklin, on that one, because that's where I'm at. And again, we'll see how this goes with him and his agent, according to Sharani, talking with the Bucks, and whether or not he actually officially asked to be traded and how this whole thing plays out. So from your perspective, though, I mean, they haven't had a player like this, superstar-wise, MVP-wise, since Jabbar at this point. There's no guarantee they'll get another one in our lifetime going forward at this point. So if he does come and say, hey, man, I want out, I want to go to A, B, or C or whatever, do you play hardball and go, no, we're good until your contract's up, and then you can go where you want as a free agent and try and keep him here as long as possible and potentially try to win him back over? Or do you acquiesce and say, okay, you don't want to be here, then we'll get rid of you?
Well, that certainly was the attitude of the owners, especially Wes Pavlon. When Kareem went to him and said, I want to be gone, Wes said, well, we'll work on it and do it. The Bucks got 4 players. 3 of them have their, or 2 of them have their numbers retired. But we didn't win more championships, and you would have with Kareem. But Kareem wouldn't have been happy here. And if Giannis truly isn't happy here, but I have a hard time believing that. Giannis is a stand-up. He has been anyway. I don't know him personally that well. He's been a stand-up guy that, in my book, has pretty much always done the right thing. And I'd be surprised if he's trying to, pull out on the team now. But people surprise you. It happens in life.
You're right.
And and I guess I look at it this way. We've had 3 great players, Oscar, Kareem, Giannis. Now there's been a lot of really outstanding ones like Sidney Moncrief and others we could name that we've had. Really been fortunate here. And think about this. We came in as an expansion team with the Phoenix Suns. Okay? We've won 2 championships, and we've had the 3 stars, mega stars I've talked about.
Right.
Well,
John, I gotta cut you off. I'm sorry, because the show is ending and we're on a network, so I gotta cut you off. So I apologize.
No problem.
John McGlocklin, thank you so much for coming on. Support the Mac Fund, everybody. Support the Mac Fund. John McGlocklin, appreciate you, my friend. He had joined us. Brother. Merry Christmas, John. He joined us on the Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at the 19th Annual Toy Drive. See you tomorrow.